J.J. McCarthy needs a standing ovation. J.J. McCarthy looked like Caleb looked at the end of this game, and then he turned it around. Very impressed by J.J. McCarthy. This was a complete lambasting after that first drive. Bears get up. Everybody starts anointing Caleb Williams, the king of football, and Caleb just crapped the bed yet again. And so we're here to talk about J.J. McCarthy. Everyone was in full panic mode. Twitter was on fire. Comments everywhere. What are we doing with J.J.? J.J.'s going to be trash. And McCarthy just turned everything around. Really proud of McCarthy. A lot of positive things are going to be said about McCarthy in this live stream. He looked really, really good. Caleb was absolutely dreadful. Dreadful. He is not a good quarterback. He is not a good quarterback. How many times we have to say it? And crazy, all the reactions, the early Edwards in the live chat. I don't see them anywhere. Does anybody see them? Did they come back? The early Edwards after drive number 1. Caleb went 10 for 10, and then he just crumbled. What a game. That was a good game. Hats off to the Vikings. Hats off to the Vikings staff. Hats off to the play calling. Hats off to J.J. McCarthy. And thank God Justin Jefferson doesn't have to deal with the J.J. McCarthy we saw in the first half of this game. We were all in full-blown panic mode across the fantasy industry. There were memes everywhere, but J.J. McCarthy stepped up, and he'll probably be better for it, the fantasy football show, reaction show, the Monday Night Football reaction show. We always do this. And J.J.'s wearing more bling than I've ever seen a person wear before. It's probably slowing him down a little bit. If he can let some of that loose, maybe he can catch a few more balls. That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So here we are. We're looking for those Caleb is king. I don't see anybody. Caleb is bad. Caleb is trash. I don't see any of the Caleb supporters. They're kind of gone. The cricket sounds emerged. Look, at the beginning of the game, Caleb was 10 for 10. But if you watch closely in hindsight, you'll know what happened. Look, they checked it down. They were playing it very safe. Ben wanted to build his confidence up because Caleb has not looked good up to this point. And they're really worried about what they've thrown at him. Ben's been very frustrated by Caleb in practice, in camp. And so they've been really worried about this situation. And so they try to instill confidence, a lot of checkdowns, a lot of short passes, Caleb pretending to go through his reads, and then he just dump it off to the RB. And it worked. The first 10 plays were great. But then Caleb proceeded to see different schemes, and the Vikings dialed up something new, and Caleb wasn't used to seeing it. Caleb completed 11 more passes the entire game, went 21 of 35, 211 and a touchdown, really that garbage touchdown at the end. Caleb almost exited this game without a single touchdown pass. He did have some nice runs, 6 for 58, a touch, but at the end of the day, this was not a quarterback that's going to take this team anytime soon to the playoffs. DJ Moore got served up multiple hospital balls. I'm surprised he even returned to the field. DJ Moore, 70 yards on 3 receptions. Zacchaeus had 4 for 42. Rome Odunze had 36 yards and a touchdown. I wish Rome Odunze had a better quarterback because this is a guy I loved coming out of college. Rome Odunze has got the makings of a star, but he's just trapped in a horrible situation. And also is Luther Burden, a potential star, but Luther Burden has -3 yards on 1 reception. J.J. McCarthy on the left side of this screen, 143, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. Obviously looked very, very shaky at the beginning of this game. And I think even the biggest J.J. McCarthy supporter, we won't get out of hand here. We won't get, whoa, did J.J. just hand his, did he give that gold necklace to was that his family? I saw him giving out jewelry at the end. If you're the biggest J.J. McCarthy fan, you were nervous. Even you were, admit it. Sick Nasty's in here. He's a huge J.J. McCarthy supporter. And let's not put the cart way ahead of the horse on this. I'm very excited about what he did in this game, and I'll talk about why I think it could be very good for his development, a blessing in disguise. But even Sick Nasty, even the biggest JJ McCarthy supporter in the chat right here, right now, has to admit you were worried as hell walking out of the first half of this game. McCarthy looked awful. He looked rattled. He looked awful. I didn't know what the Vikings were going to do the rest of the season. This looked disgusting. JJ McCarthy looked worse than Caleb Williams looked at the end of this game, if you want to be honest. But McCarthy said, watch me turn this around. And what a performance by JJ McCarthy. I don't know what it means for fantasy football. I still don't know if you could call this guy a potential top 10 to 12 fantasy football quarterback ever in fantasy. I won't rule anything out. He could develop at this pro level even more. But this isn't like something where we're coming in here saying, okay, this is the next Joe Burrow, blah, blah, blah. But is this a quarterback that could take a team to the playoffs? Is this a quarterback that can be efficient like he was in college at the pro level? Something we questioned coming out of half number one. And then all of a sudden, McCarthy turns around the game, starts throwing with precision. The play calls were amazing, dialed up to perfection. And then his grit and determination and that rushing touchdown was unbelievable. And I think blessing in disguise, we're probably going to see this kid, JJ McCarthy, be better because of this game. He will be better because of this game. His teammates will respect his grit and desire and tenacity. He will respect himself. He will look at himself and say, I'm capable of coming back from this. The fact that he pushed through and what is Leo saying? Someone put Leo in timeout. Leo, stop posting that over and over. Somebody put Leo in timeout, please. Leo, stop posting the same thing over and over and over. Loveland. You keep doing it. Timeout, at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes. Cool off. Stop interrupting the live stream. McCarthy will be better for it. McCarthy will be stronger for it. McCarthy has now faced adversity at the NFL level to the tune that we all can't even imagine how he was going to pick his head up, go back out onto the field, show his face in Minnesota ever again. It was that bad. It was that bad. McCarthy looked like cheeks out there. It was bad. And the whole fantasy world and industry was scrambling to figure out what to do with JJ, what to tell people. You told me to draft JJ. How could you have JJ in your top 10 wide receiver rankings? People were going to go crazy. And everyone's like, what are we doing with this? And McCarthy stepped up. And McCarthy showed grit, tenacity, determination, and bounce back ability that will serve him well. Let's see here. Mike, are you out here really trying to defend Caleb Williams? Let's read what Mike says. I really don't really care what Mike says half the time. 90% of the time. No, 100% of the time. But let's read what it is. Your QB looked absolutely trash for three quarters and didn't even know how to hit a wide open best wide receiver in the NFL against backups and backup corners. So, Mike, what is it you're thinking right now? Because I was being told by you and a bunch of other Chicago Bear profile photo chatters when Caleb was 10 for 10 and I ended the live stream just a wee bit into the first quarter that I was going to come back here and lick my wounds and beg for apologies. And now you're here just trashing the Vikings. Like you have nothing better. You can't defend your quarterback. You can't defend anything. All you can do is tear into other people right now, Mike, is what you're resorting to. I kind of figured this would be the case. I'm surprised you're even here, actually. Thought maybe you'd just show up tomorrow. But I don't know. I'm just curious what you're thinking right now, other than trying to rip on other things. And this quarterback came back and won the game, and you're finding ways to tear him down. He just beat your team single-handedly. McCarthy put the team on his shoulders and beat your team, and you're talking about his first, second, and third quarter? This guy just got a W. Your quarterback's confidence just went like this. And you're in here complaining? So, Anyway, what a game. Now, JJ also dropped a big catch, which would have put his numbers in like the 5 for like 60, 65 and a touch, would have made it for a nicer outing. I think maybe the bling he was wearing kind of weighed him down. But JJ, probably one of the most important things. Also, Jordan Mason, 15 carries, 4.5 a pop, 58 yards. Looked really good in this game. Looked really good. Aaron Jones caught a 44 yards and a touchdown, long of 27, 3 targets. Vikings look pretty good. I wouldn't say great. I would say that you don't play the way you played in 3 quarters if you're a great team, but they're still trying to put it together and piece it together. Now, it's important not to imagine losing to the Vikings in this scenario where they looked like trash for 3 quarters. It's got to be painful, which is why I understand some of the Bears fans in here like trashing other teams, and just like I saw when the chat was loading, I saw a bunch of people who were mad because they thought they were going to come in here and make me say I'm sorry and Caleb's the best ever because he was 10 for 10 on dump offs that Ben Johnson smartly said, let's build his confidence up and then let's see what he can do. And then he couldn't do it. Caleb started Calebing, and it all kind of fell apart from there. But I wondered what the chat was saying when it was loading, and I was reading it, and sure enough, it's, well, your Tank Dell call many years ago, Smitty. Or how about Bo Nix? How about Bo Nix looked bad? That's what we're resorting to. You literally have nowhere else to go but to try and dig into other avenues of where I missed something, where I maybe not have got a call right this week. You can't even defend your own team anymore. How many games until Caleb Williams is magically, with his magic that he has, let's see what he can do with this magical, at the 10-yard line, this is where the magic happens. All these announcers. What do you think? How long until Caleb has an injury and he has to sit, and Bajent, who got paid like a mini starter, ends up going out there and playing instead of Caleb Williams? And if Caleb does get banged up on some sort of like throwing motion, hits a helmet, you know what's going to happen. When he gets banged up, how many games will he sit watching Bajent go out there and deliver and execute upon this offense better than Caleb can? Because Bajent's a better fit for this offense. How many games does Bajent start this year? He's getting paid like a mini starter. He won that amazing final preseason game with a final throw in the end zone, and then he got a raise. What do you think that signifies? Ben Johnson says, my backup plan is pretty damn good, and I want to make sure it's locked down for multiple years. Why would you sign a quarterback who's under contract? Understand what I'm saying here. Bajent was under contract and had a good preseason game and has looked good in practice, and he loves Bajent. He has a good preseason game, and under contract, you sign him to an extension. Why do you do that, do you think? Because you anticipate he might start games, look good, and cost you more money at the end of the season. There is literally zero reason to go in another direction. The man is under contract. You don't have to worry about a team knocking on the door and trying to steal him away. He doesn't have an opportunity to get a starting job anywhere. He knows the system. He probably returns anyway. You could probably offer him something mid-season. You don't have to give him why would you offer him a pretty extensive amount of money for a backup quarterback when he's under contract? How many games does he start in 2025, Bajent? How many games does Caleb start in 2025? Because he looks horrible. His confidence is shot, and Ben Johnson knows down deep this is not his future quarterback. And Caleb Johnson is not even the 3rd, maybe not even the 4th best quarterback in his draft class. He's not. And those of you that think Bo Nix is trash, just wait. Just wait till Bo Nix gets another shot. Bo Nix is still playing on a team that looks good. The team is still good. Bo Nix is still helping his team go and win a game. Caleb is not. And how painful is it to watch Bears fans? And I feel bad for my Bears fans. I'm not mad ever at my Bears fans. I feel bad for my Bears fans. They deserve better. This is never about them. This is just about the team. This is about an unserious organization led by one of the worst GMs in football that just got an extension because the Bears are not serious people. Those running this Bears organization are not serious people. They don't understand football at all. They just don't. And you have Chicago Bear fans, you have one of the worst GMs in football. He makes the worst decisions. And you're watching Justin Fields thrive, and you know what you should have done. Bears fans know what should have taken place. Now, the real true Bears fans, they're the ones that did not want Justin Fields to even depart. But Ryan Poles, the worst GM in the league, decided he'd take it upon himself to jostle everything around. And now Fields looks like the real deal over in New York.
Leave it on the fields.
Just in time.
Fields of dreams.
Fields like making love.
Outstanding in his fields.
Fields so good.
Fields general. My field's good. Uneven playing fields.
Battlefields tested.
Fields. Fields. He's for reals.
So, Shane, I'm in the middle of a monologue. I'm going to answer your question in a second. I answer all the super chats after the monologue. It's not a super chat show only. There is some fantasy football and news that has to take place. This is how it happens every single time. If I just came in here and immediately started reading all the super chats, what kind of show would it be? So just calm down. I see that you want me to answer your questions. I will answer them, and I'll get to them. And I appreciate your super chat, but we do have a order in this court. We do have a process in here, and it's not just about reading all of the messages all the time. So just relax a little bit, and I'll be right there. We're doing a little bit of talking shop here about Caleb and how long it takes until Bajan's in the lineup. Now, I will tell you, again, and I don't think there's a human being out there. There's not one human being out there that isn't going to sit here and say, now, if Shane dropped a $20 hauler, I'm going to feel bad. I'm almost positive, just without even looking, that this is going to be a $20 super chat because they do get immediate attention. Shane, was it a $20 hauler? Do I have to take a lap? I probably do. I know it is. I know it's going to be. Damn it! Shane, thanks for the $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Take a big lap. We don't.
All right, where's Shane at? Shane, let's do this. Trade Brock Purdy for J.J. McCarthy. Straight up in Dynasty. Yeah, I would. I would definitely. Shane, you here? Love you, brother. Don't, what's he saying? Don't worry. Okay, Shane. Thank you, pal. $20 haulers get immediate attention. So Shane is not wrong. I'm wrong. Straight up in Dynasty. Yes, I would. First of all, Brock Purdy just for now is questionable for week number 2, but I don't think Brock Purdy is an elite player on any level. Now, I don't think McCarthy is either. I think McCarthy has a lot to prove, and I think he probably proves more to me every single day. Tonight was a great example of just resilience, man. I mean, I'm really impressed with his grit. I don't think he ever becomes an elite fantasy football quarterback, but I think he's a great facilitator, and they're both kind of system guys in a way, but McCarthy's got that, a little bit more of that I don't know. I don't want to say, Brock Purdy showed some good tenacity too, and in playoff games has scrambled and made things happen, but he's also been surrounded by a super team. And you may call JJ a super, part of a super team. You could, but I think the Niners had much more of a super team with Christian McCaffrey in his prime, Kittle in his prime, Ayuk playing like an elite player at that moment or rising up into one. Debo is an elite player on many levels. I don't care what anybody says. Yak yardage monster, defense, one of the best offensive linemen in the league at the time. You're talking about a dog defense. You're talking about Brock Purdy being gift wrapped, so like JJ McCarthy's got some awesome components, but in coaching and everything, but it is not the same scenario as Brock Purdy. So I do think that JJ McCarthy has a little bit more ability to become a better player. So Shane, it's a great question, and it's relevant to the topic. So it was actually a great question at the time. All right, thank you, pal. Appreciate you. I would love to. Let's see here. Mike says the fact that I even showed up to this stream after that should show you everyone the content of my character. I will give you that. You could have just not shown up today. But you immediately started, was it Mike? I think it was Mike. Immediately started attacking other things instead of just being like, look, it was bad. Instead of being like, oh, you're McCarthy didn't show up for, and Bo Nix is trash. Smitty, what about Tank Dell? I mean, a lot of you don't, you couldn't just come in and say, look, maybe Caleb isn't it. This is the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. The number 1 overall pick by the worst GM in the league, Ryan Poles, who's screwed up so much along the way, and you extend him. The organization extends him. I don't know how Bears fans can take this. I feel so bad for Bears fans. They deserve better. This has never been about them. This is about Caleb Williams not being an elite quarterback. Could Caleb Williams survive and last in this league for 5-6 years? Sure. But this is very much the kind of quarterback that is ending up with another team before his second deal. This is a player that, and you could say the same thing, oh, Fields ended up on another team. Yeah, but that's because the Bears didn't know how to develop him. They don't know how to develop quarterbacks. Now, Ben Johnson is the best man for the job. But Ben Johnson's also smart enough that I don't think he wastes 3 years on Caleb Williams. I think he brought Bayesian back, or signed him to an extension for a reason. Wants to bring him back next year. And if this doesn't work, Bagent's going to start games, and Ben Johnson won't have to pay him. I mean, they could extend him again, but they extended him for a reason. He was under contract. You had no need to extend Bagent, but you did. And you did it right after a final throw, game-winning touchdown toss by Bagent, where he showed the poise and execution in Ben Johnson's system that Caleb has never shown. Amazing how this turned. All of the Caleb supporters that were trashing your boy when he was 10 for 10 in the first quarter, and we left the live stream. Only Mike is showing back up, so good on you, Mike, for at least showing up. Let's get to these super chats here in a second. We'll open up the phone lines, but I'm not worried about JJ anymore. I am a little bit worried about JJ. I think just that I don't know if this. We have to see JJ McCarthy produce consistently before we start saying JJ's the same player he was in a, and I'm not saying Darnold's better than McCarthy as a future prospect. McCarthy will become better, I think, than Darnold ever was, but Darnold fit from a fantasy perspective into this offense and just threw the ball. And I just hope that JJ, Justin Jefferson, can be fed enough consistently game in and game out, and that JJ McCarthy can develop as a consistent thrower downfield, which I think tonight showed that he can. We just need to see it consistently. I'm very, very intrigued. I'm very, very excited about the Vikings' future with McCarthy if he can get better. If he can get better. Now, if he's just kind of, this is where he's at, he's going to be up and down, and this was just a really good game for him, and at the end of the game at least, and he can't replicate this, but he continues to have problems. We'll have to see. But I'm very, very intrigued. And we got another $20 super chat from Shane. Shane does it. Shane's got thick skin, and he comes back. The door got slammed on his face accidentally, and he still came back.
Super chat alert.
Dropping another $20 wad. Caleb Williams is bad, fam. He chokes like he did in college against top 25 teams. And he definitely just does not have that it factor, even from a personality perspective. He can't lead a bunch of soldiers onto the battlefield. He doesn't have the mannerisms. He sits there on the bench and puts his head back like this. And his team's already told him, stop with the laying down on the bench. Stop with the doing snow angels on the field when you get sacked. Stop acting like a baby on the sidelines and act like a leader. You throw a pick six or you throw an interception or you go 3 and out or whatever, stand on the sideline and be like, get me back in the game and be amped up. Josh Allen throws a pick six. Guess what he does? Starts looking at the iPad. He starts going over the screenshots and the paper copies, and he gets back out onto the field. He's not looking up and counting all the lights in the rafters. He's not looking for his mama. Where am I going to go after this game? He doesn't do any of that. Caleb Williams doesn't have the characteristics of an elite quarterback. He never has. He probably never will. He'll probably be on another team at some point. And Caleb Williams is not the guy that Ben Johnson will need if Ben Johnson's going to survive in this situation and somehow turn this organization around, even though he's tied down by the decisions that this organization makes. And that goes for Ryan Poles more than anybody. And it goes for the top decision makers that put Ryan Poles in a decision-making position. They probably need to make Ben Johnson the acting GM and head coach so that this thing can be turned around properly, so that there's no handcuffs on Ben Johnson. But thank goodness Ben Johnson is a smart man, and he backed up his starting quarterback plan with a plan B, with a quarterback that if you forget, Bagent was kind of a sleeper in a lot of people's minds when he first got his first shot, and then I think he got hurt like in the first game or the second game. I forget what it was exactly. But Bagent had some upside, and Bagent is a dog. I don't know that he'll be a great quarterback. I'm not sitting here trying to claim Bagent's going to be the best quarterback to ever play. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying Bagent's a dog. Caleb Williams is not. Bagent has the makings of what could be a quarterback that Ben Johnson can work with and turn into a pretty solid passer. But it doesn't mean he will be for sure. Caleb is not going to be something that I think Ben Johnson can survive. That's the bottom line. Derek with the $20 super chat. Shane with the other. Oh, I already got Shane's second super chat. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate you dropping that second super chat, my man. Thanks again, and I'm sorry I yelled at you. I do got to get through the monologues, but $20 definitely cut the line. Appreciate you very much. And then Derek's super chat here. He dropped a $20 hauler. Derek to the moon.
Alert. Super chat alert.
By the way, this video drops at 4:30 a.m. Pacific time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. That's when all my videos pretty much drop. And we should have one Monday through Friday now that the season's underway. And this buy low video will drop at, like I said, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. For those that don't know, the Moon Men, Mars Men, Saturn Men, all the space theme is completely frozen and locked until the off season. There's nothing that changes, nothing that moves. We may reference it to celebrate, but there's no more spacemen. That is off-season content. The in-season content is Wild Wild West and Throne. It's Throne Men from the, you could say Warrior, you could say Game of Thrones type-esque environment. We have Throne Men, and then we have the Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West will consist of the players that are the best buy lows, the most wanted players that we need to go get. Buy lows, best buy lows in fantasy. And this is a little teaser for tomorrow's bigger video and we're going to call it mining. So the mining show is going to be mining for one specific player out of the bigger lot. And so the mining show will drop, and it'll be a teaser for the bigger show. So tomorrow's mining for waiver, or for buy low gold will be about Genty, and then it'll open the door to the bigger show on Wednesday, which will feature more of the most wanted.
The top most wanted outlawed.
As you can see, a little teaser of two players that will accompany Genty. The rest of the board will get filled out, but the most wanted for 2025 week number 2 so far will include Genty, Lad McConkey, Hampton. You can probably guess there's a lot of other names that might make this list. Andy, other players we'll discuss, but for right now, the mining show, player number 1 The teaser of the content will drop at 7:30 a.m. So see you all there. Hit these super chats. For week 2, I got Hurts, Genty, Hampton, Nico, Sutton, Buka, Kraft. Bench is Charbonnet, good piece there. Mike Evans, love that. You could almost couple those two together and get something. Should I trade Hurts for Daniels? I would definitely do that. If you can do it straight up, that's amazing. Should I stay with Hampton or try and trade for Hendy? I would stay with Hampton, but I'd be tempted to see if you can get Hendy into a flex spot. But I like Nico. You're going to keep Nico. You're going to keep Buka. You're going to probably keep... You could trade maybe... Mike Evans could go into the lineup, or you could trade Sutton and Sharps or Sutton and Evans for one bigger, stronger player. St. Brown comes to mind. Lamb Chops comes to mind. You could trade for an injured London using Sharps and Sutton and potentially put Mike Evans in for now. Or if you start all those players, you have a lot of flex spots. But I definitely do the Daniels trade. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you, Derek. If you got to follow up, let me know. But you're on your way, young man. You are on your way. Shane dropping another $20 hauler. Talk about a man with the thickest skin. This guy's got thicker skin than JJ McCarthy. Oh, that's the wrong message. Shane's got thicker skin than JJ McCarthy. Who is winning the NFC North? Go Pack Go, says Shane. Shane, appreciate you dropping yet another.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Who's winning the NFC North? This is old. I don't know that I want to touch this because of the historical significance of it. But if I had to guess, and let's go back over here so we don't mess with it. That was my preseason prediction. I'd probably say, if I had to guess, it's a tough question. It's a real tough question. I'd probably say, I don't think the Packers will. But I think that the Lions might be very disappointing from that perspective. So would I be surprised if the Vikings won the division? I wouldn't. Could the Green Bay Packers win it? I suppose, but I think there are holes in this roster. I don't know that they're going to be as dominant as we want them to be. To be honest with you, this might not be the answer you want to hear, but I think that this is potentially going to be a very even Steven minus the Bears, an even Steven division fight where it's like it comes down to the end, and I don't know that the winner is going to have like 13 wins or something. So if I had to guess right now, I would say the Lions still have the most talent, but I am worried about Goff. I was worried about him. I was worried about losing Ben Johnson. Vikings feel like the kind of team that could just have the wins. They're maybe not the scariest team on I wouldn't say on paper necessarily. That's not the right way to describe it, I guess. I would just say that you would be surprised maybe at the end of the year if you weren't following it closely to be like, man, the Vikings have 12 wins or 11 wins. I think the Vikings have a decent shot. I think it does come down to the Lions or the Vikings. I think the Packers will be solid. I do think they'll be solid, but I think everyone's overrating Jordan Love right now. But Goff is definitely not looking good. Not looking good at all. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I think that a lot of people are being premature on the Green Bay Packers, to be honest. But we'll attack that later. Appreciate your $20 hauler continuing to drop the super chats tonight. You're the man, the myth, legend. Michael's 1-0 Hurts, JT, Swift, Puka, DJ Moore, Pickens, and Joku, Fields, Rice, Judkins, A.O. Manor. Feel like I should move off of Swift. Yeah, I mean, I'd sell Swift high. I definitely would. And I think he played pretty well tonight. And I think he maybe gets you something. I think you could do pretty well on that. Caleb is I don't understand. Caleb is just not. Would you trade AJB for Genty? Is this you cooking this up? There's no way you're sitting on this. First of all, I'm gonna send you on the biggest lap of your life if this is sitting in front of you and you haven't accepted it yet. But Travis, if you're cooking this up and you just think this is gonna happen, you're gonna get the door slammed in your face, my boy. You're gonna get the door just slammed right in your face. But try it. If you pull this off, people pulled off crazier stuff than this before. So I'm not saying don't try it, but I don't know a world where Genty can be bought that low right now. AJ Brown Look, A.J. Brown he looks injured. He looks like he was a decoy in week 1. If you rewatch all the routes that he ran, he was jogging at like 80%. He wasn't even looking at the quarterback. He was running like it was planned for him to just go here, drag the defense here, make sure that the safety dropped here. Like it was all planned out. And I thought for a while that A.J. Brown was going to exit the game upset, like get me the ball, Madiva. But when I rewatched it, he was injured. And he's been injured and he's been struggling with the hamstring. And this team they're the biggest liars when it comes to their injury report. So as for this team right here, I think I am trying to trade Swift. But I don't know that you'll get the world for him. I think Hampton, Hendy, Genty, even Kyron. People are worried about Kyron. Even though he scored, they just think he's not going to do well this year. There's always doubters. Achan. These are all players I'm trying to turn JT and something into. And if you turn JT and let's say DJ Moore, or JT and maybe Judkins into a combo of players, like maybe you could get a Travis Hunter or a Mike Evans or a player that's maybe underperforming at the wide receiver position in favor of the Judkins swap. And then JT lets you move down to get that swap. You move down from JT to a doubted Hampton or something. I think that could be helpful to you. I think Judkins and Swift for a Hampton would be even better. Judkins and Swift for a Hendy would be even better. DJ Moore and Swift for a Hendy or a Hampton, I would do that in a heartbeat. Those are just a couple moves that I would try and make and maneuver into. Caleb, Nate, appreciate you with the super chat, the $2 hauler. Nate to the moon, appreciate that super chat, pal. Doesn't like Caleb. Nate does not like Caleb. Drop Kyle Williams for Boutte, for Booty. I don't think that's the player. No, I don't think that's the player I want to pick up, honestly. I check the waiver wire board here and let me know another player that you might want to potentially swap out, because we got a whole board here for you to pick from. I'd much rather you go get like some sort of running back that has upside, even like a Giddens or a Manungai or Sampson or Blue, or maybe even a player like, I don't know, Woody Marks, or if you're going wide receiver shopping, there's got to be somebody that's ranked higher on my board that we could discuss. But I'm not that interested in Boutte, the Bootymeister. I just don't think he's potentially all that promising. I could be wrong. I'll definitely apologize to him and everybody out there if he ends up being something special. Rest of season, Harvey or Hall. It's not really close right now. Hall's a top 5 to 10 running back, and Harvey could get there, but right now, Hall is him. Scattaboo for Nick Chubb, no way. I'm keeping Scattaboo. That's not even close. Nick Chubb won't last 2 or 3 games. AJ Brown plus Jordan Addison or Hendo plus Hunter. I would take Hendo and Hunter by a country mile. By a country mile, my boy. That is a great one. Just traded Caleb Swift for Pollard and Garrett Wilson. That's highway robbery. Nice job. I mean, I don't know if that's super flex, but if you didn't need Caleb, then it's still a great move. Jaden Daniels is my QB. Should I drop Loveland for Zach Ertz? I probably wouldn't redraft. Yeah, I probably wouldn't redraft. 12-team PPR, start Pickens or Kenneth Walker. I'm not starting Kenneth Walker, especially with the matchup. I'm not. Pickens is still a very good play, bro. Don't let Pickens' 2025 week 1 sour your opinion on him. He had 2 PIs that would have given him a lot. He would have 90 yards and 5 catches if those 2 penalties weren't. He draws penalties because people don't want him to catch these footballs that he's so good at catching. 1-0, best fantasy show. Out a great way to end week 1. Appreciate you, Marcus. Thank you for saying the kind words as well. Have no kicker. Who do I drop? Olave, Mason, or Benson? I'm definitely dropping Olave if I've got to pick between those guys. 1-2 leagues, 1 fumble at the end won it for me. Nice job, J-Flo. Nice job. J-Flo to the moon. Mark Cleveland in the house says, I picked up McCarthy before the game. I already had Dak. What do? You start Dak, especially this week. Dak did his job. His team just kept dropping the ball. Not his fault. Definitely start Dak, but not a bad pickup, but you're not starting McCarthy yet. Do I send Henry, Kittle for Mahomes, Kelsey, and Genty. If it's tough to say. I don't know who your quarterback is in this situation, but Kelsey and Genty, that's pretty darn good. I love Henry, but I'm taking Genty with Kelsey and Mahomes if Kelsey and Mahomes are helping me big time. Yeah, that's a huge move. I do like Henry right now. Henry's probably the top 5 overall player. Should I trade Igbuka for McConkey? I would probably say no. I think I like Igbuka more, but honestly, it's not crazy to think that we would maybe see Lad McConkey play like a top 10 wide receiver this year. And Igbuka, still could as well. Which locker room believes they can win with their QB? Caleb can't be fixed by Ben Johnson. JJ McCarthy won his team over in quarter 1. Caleb will never win his team over. I agree with BBQ. I think McCarthy, this was a blessing in disguise. It really was. Because your teammates believe in you now. His teammates believe in him. I mean, they just do. Right? How could you not? He was walking through the tunnel, and he had this. That when he scored the touchdown, he's like, ah! And he walked. That face was frozen because he was wearing it all during the whole end of that fourth quarter, and then he was walking to the tunnel. He had the same face on. He couldn't. It was like it was locked. McCarthy was living it. He was living in that moment, and he wasn't letting it go. And I think when you endure something that is this down and out, and McCarthy was as down and out as it gets. I mean, this was bad. This was really bad. I was thinking to myself, how do we navigate this from a content perspective on Justin Jefferson? That's how bad McCarthy was in the first half. He was awful. He was awful. And I didn't know what we were looking at. And you're lying to yourself. I'm not talking to you, BBQ, because I know you know what I'm saying. Anybody out there is lying to themselves if they didn't think it's over. It was so bad, it felt like this is not the guy. For him to rebound the way he did, that's going to instill more confidence than playing half a season will. Because he knows he can do it. He's done it in a pro game, in a real game, not a preseason game, in a pro game when he put his team in a deficit, a major hole, which was almost an embarrassing thought and moment to say. Imagine losing to this Vikings offense after you got off to this big early lead. Imagine how embarrassing it would be to lose this game against this Vikings offense, and McCarthy brought him back. Unbelievable. So, yeah, the Vikings players believe in McCarthy. I can tell you that right now. And it was really nice to see Justin Jefferson, greet him right before they went in, where the media was still watching him go through the tunnel. They got to that final part of the tunnel where it turns into the locker room, and there's a door that the media can't go in, and JJ was waiting for him, and JJ just grabbed him, patted him on the back, and they both kind of are jumping, and they went straight in, and it's like, you love seeing the camaraderie between the two right now, and JJ wasn't walking out frustrated. That gives me a lot of hope for JJ because he loves his quarterback, and that's important. Thoughts on Kyler rest of season, McCarthy backup? I think Kyler's solid. I think Kyler, from a fantasy perspective, he runs the ball. I'm not worried about Kyler. I think he's top 7 to 12, but the range is big because he can get hurt. B, there's just a lot of good quarterbacks, so it doesn't mean something negative if he's 12. It could be between 20 points between those guys. Drop Cam Ward for Tesla or Tootin. I take Tootin. Yeah, and he's a rookie, so he's going to be up and down, so I don't mind that move. Tootin to the moon. Tootin should be grabbed in all formats. I don't know how anybody would leave Tootin out there. If Krosky Merritt's gone, Tootin's the top running back pickup of the week, and Tootin might just be, I would say, capable of being 8 out of 10, maybe, of being the best pickup of the year. I don't want to throw a bunch of 9s and 10s around all offseason because things can change quickly. And I still believe we can't put Gordon at that 10 right now. I acknowledge that the situation in Miami is pretty tough to grasp right now. And it's hard to know what Ollie Gordon's going to be worth. But I would say that Ollie Gordon still should not be cut, and you should still have faith, because if Achane barely ran the ball, you can't expect much out of Ollie and judge him. You can judge a situation and say they'll never run well this year. Or you can say, if I'm not going to write off a guy that didn't get a chance. Ollie Gordon is still a touchdown potential monster, but Tootin could become better than any other running back prospect that you could grab off waivers. And so there is a chance that full load drop is necessary if for some reason he's available in your league and he's the best pickup of the week. And it's kind of shocking that he's available, because I don't think I play in a league where Tootin's available. I don't think I have a league where he's available. Ibuka primary on the outside when Godwin returns. No, Ibuka is going to be all over the field. All over the line. He is the most versed wide receiver rookie to come out of college in some time, because he played in a wide receiver room with the wide receivers that were better than Mike Evans and Godwin in that Tampa Bay wide receiver room. He comes from the most elite wide receiver rooms you could ever play in. Jeremiah Smith, MHJ, Olave, Garrett Wilson, all those guys played with him. And he was battling for touches and moving around like a rover, learning all the positions because he was asked to move here. He was asked to move there. So he's so versed, they're going to line him up all over the field. He is the number one wide receiver on the team. And if anybody tells you that he's going to go back and be regulated to wide receiver 3 duties or something, that person missed on Ibuka, and they're trying to make sense of it. And they're giving you crap advice if you're hearing that. Who should I trade for in Dynasty? This is another Shane question. $20 holler. Shane doesn't stop. He doesn't
Alert.
stop.
Super chat alert.
I'm going to call him Relentless Shane, man. Never stop Shane. Who should I trade for in Dynasty the most after week 1? Ibuka, Coleman, Harvey. Ibuka, but he might cost the most. So Harvey's probably the better deal. We got 1,500 on YouTube. Appreciate you. Hit that thumb up button and please subscribe if you're new. All 1,500 of you, probably not all of you, have subscribed yet, but you found your new home. We're live more than anybody, in my opinion. I can't possibly know that for a certainty, but I pretty much think everybody in here will tell you, if you are new, that they can't find anybody that goes live more than I do. I go live whenever news breaks, big news. I go live after every single set of games. So afternoon and morning are over, I do a recap. After the Sunday night game, I go live, I do a recap. After the Monday, after the Thursday, after the Friday game, after a Saturday game. Who should I trade for in Dynasty? I would say Hendy and Hampton, and you're going to see a show over the buy low show. So I can't reveal all the names because those are coming in videos, but you know the deal. You know the guy. Go after Ibuka, but I'm definitely going to buy probably more Harvey shares, because most people that have Buka, they're not trading him. They're just not. But you could try. And if you trade for him, they're going to want like a first round value. Who to drop for Tootin, Ollie or Jalen Warren? Probably Jalen. I would say Jalen Warren. I know that some might disagree with that because Warren's getting used, but I'm not dropping Ollie. Trade DK for Coleman or Hunter. I would trade DK for Hunter, and I still believe in Hunter. And Hunter caught 6 footballs. I'm not doubting Hunter at all. He just might be slow unveiling like a lot of rookies are. Still keeping Ollie over Judkins or trade. I would try and trade Judkins if you could, or if you haven't picked him up yet. I suppose you can make another trade, but Judkins might have more trade value. Like, here's the thing. Could you drop Ollie Gordon, nobody pick him up, and then you pick him up after you trade Judkins? Maybe, but what if the HN owner picks him up and says, thank God he got dropped? And that's another thing for you HN owners that missed out. Make sure you realize that if you don't inquire about him and trigger the person that want to hold him, you might see that person that owns Ollie Gordon drops him. Or if you feel comfortable with approaching them, you could say, hey, I don't really want him that bad. He played like trash, and I don't think he's even the backup. You could just say a bunch of things like that and be like, but I would give you something, but it would depend on what you want. But I think at this point, I don't even know if I want him. See if they maybe trade him cheaply to you instead of you having to compete to get him off waivers. Start Bo Nix or Penix Jr. I think it's Penix Jr. until further notice, but I'm still not giving up on Bo Nix at all. Ibuka or Hendy in the flex. Ibuka, you can't sit Ibuka. Hendricks, the only reason you would ask this question, and I mean this in all due respect, is if you didn't play Ibuka last week at all. You didn't find a way to play him, so you're just trying to justify. And you know this is true. You know what I'm speaking is the fact. You're just trying to justify, like, if I say Hendy, then you're going to be okay with that I didn't start him this week. I didn't start Ibuka this week, but if you say Hendy, then maybe it wasn't that bad of a decision. But the answer is Ibuka needs to start. He's a wide receiver 1. Hendy probably bounces back and becomes a running back one, but it's a little bit less of a guarantee at this point. So you have to start. Buka. You can't. No one can sit Buka. Hey, Smitty, trade Kyron for James Cook and Tootin. I would rather have Kyron personally, but it's not crazy if someone were to do that. I just wouldn't do that. Foundation, I think you missed my $5 super chat. I'm still going through them, Stroke. There's a lot of people that have super chats out there, and I'm trying to seat everybody at a table. So just hang tight. I'll get to you. Don't worry. 10-team PPR, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Josh Allen, Henry, Kyron, CD, Sutton, Kittle, Ricky, J-Mo, Rashee Rice, Jalen Warren, Mason, Ollie, Benson, Tyler Warren. Thoughts? Probably going to tell you, my boy, that just keep your RBs, keep Josh Allen, keep CD. There's nothing to see here. Rashee Rice on the bench. J-Mo and Pretty Ricky and injured Kittle and Sutton. Something can be done there. That you got Tyler Warren. So I'm going to probably look and shop Kittle. Even though I'm selling him at a slight discount, I think shopping Kittle now is smart if someone's willing to buy him, ambulance chase him, and buy him at the right price. If not, you just hold him, wait till he gets better, and then trade him then and get the most max value. But I think if you were to couple, let's say, Pretty Ricky, especially to a Niner fan, they get two Niners. You couple Pretty Ricky and Kittle for like a struggling player that's struggling right now, like Hampton, Mike Evans, who's already doubted enough to just trade Kittle for Mike Evans. And you could do that straight up. You add Pretty Ricky, you probably get another player. You probably get a Hendy. You could get Harvey for Kittle right now. You could get Travis Hunter for Kittle right now if you wanted to. And I think I do those things. And your team looks so good regardless of anything else. I think you just kind of sit on it and let it just fester and marinate a little bit. It's quite a team. I like it a lot. Very, very good team. Let me see. I got a $20 hauler here from Shane again. Shane, I think this is a total of, is this $100? I think.
Smitty, everybody.
Shane, this means you get to go on a video, bro. Anybody that drops $100 in a super chat gets to have their name on a video. You get to sponsor it. So you pick your video, sir, and I'll put it on there. And every time we press the button, we're going to see Shane. We're going to see Shane right there. He says, Smitty, random question. Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, or Dragon Balls? I don't know what I feel stupid, but I don't know what Dragon Balls or Dragon Ball Z is. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't like Ninja Turtles, don't like Power Rangers. I don't really, maybe when I was younger, I probably watched He-Man and Castle Grayskull, all that stuff. But I don't really have time for these anymore, Shane. But what I do have time is to put your name on a video of choice. So let's see what you choose, young man. If I had to pick, let's go Ninja Turtles. I don't know. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate the question. I don't know what Dragon Balls is. I have no idea. Castle Grayskull, He-Man. I had that Castle Grayskull, that green Castle Grayskull case that you'd open and close. It had the jaw bridge and everything. I also play with when I was a kid, the what do you call it? The mask or the vehicles that like transform and like had cannons and things. All right, let's see here. Did Shane say what video he wanted? Shane, let me know what video you want. Appreciate you. Rockout says, good game in the Mars, man. I won 126 to 121. Figures I lost because JJ couldn't. That's the one I have JJ in, I think? Or no, isn't it? I don't know. I forget if I got JJ in that league. Man. Does Sampson still have value when Judkins is back? Yeah, he's the third down back. He's the PPR guy. So yeah, of course he does. Agbuka primary on outside. Oh, I think I read that one already. Keith Mitchell was inactive. Yeah, I don't know that he's the cuff probably. Or if Henry went down, he would become really, really relevant. But right now, he's just not going to get work, apparently. And that's a shame. I mean, he looked so good in the preseason, and they kept saying we want to get him the ball more, and now they're not. And now the coach is saying, there's just hard to get him the football. It's hard to squeeze him into the offense. Well, then if you have Henry, it's still smart to own him, but you might not get any use out of him for a while. Got offered Gibbs, Evans, and Cam Ward for, I assume it's Cam Ward. If it's Cam Scattered, but you got to be clear. For my Genty and St. Brown, I would take Genty and St. Brown. I think pretty easily. Even if that was Scatterboo, Cam Ward, doesn't really matter. I would take Genty and St. Brown. I'm definitely intrigued by Gibbs, but I think Genty could have a better year, if at least for part of the year, until the Lions figure some things out. They're very much in a bad spot. Got to make a JJ to the second power video. Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Marcus. I'm very intrigued by how he played, but from a fantasy perspective, we'll have to see. Did you already talk about the Bigsby trade we did on the other show? ETN to the moon, but Tootin also to the moon. And I think eventually Tootin does get some starts. So I like ETN. I'm rooting for him. I'm not saying he's trash by any means. We love ETN. This is a big pro ETN channel. But just Tootin is also in play now. And he'll definitely get more carries and such and get prepped. Kyler, James Cook for JD5. I would take JD5 without much of a hesitation. That's pretty easy, my boy. That's a pretty easy question. How long do you think Dable keeps his job? I don't know. He definitely could be gone if Dart doesn't turn this team around. But what a dumb decision to go to Russell Wilson again. Just makes me not believe he knows what he's doing. Pearsall and ETN for Tyler Warren and Harvey. I take Tyler Warren and Harvey if you need a tight end. And Andrews is kind of sketchy right now, so I think I would take that side. But there's arguments to make on both sides of that. Do I package Worthy in London for a wide receiver 1? I certainly would consider it, but London is a wide receiver 1, and there's a chance he plays this week or misses just one game. That's kind of the way it feels right now. We should have more information. Kiki sent gifted, I think, 1 membership out to people. Appreciate you. Thank you for gifting the memberships. We had gifted memberships last show. Thank you, New Age Outlaw, for gifting those last show. And then Kiki gifted another membership. Thank you for gifting those memberships. I really, really appreciate you doing that. And New Age, if you're watching, I very much appreciate your gifted memberships earlier. And if anybody dropped gifted memberships last show and I didn't see it, my alerts were a little bit screwy. I did see New Age Outlaws, but if I missed yours, I very much apologize. And I never mean to miss any of those. So thank you very much. Do we package Worthy in London for what? So if you were to go get a BTJ, I kind of feel like you need to get a little more, but I'd be intrigued by a 2 for 2. Buy low on somebody. Like if you were to get Harvey and BTJ, then I feel like Harvey versus Worthy could do some equal damage eventually. But it's hard to give up. London's so good, it's hard to give up London and not, you got to go pretty high. Like Lamb, I'd maybe do both for Lamb if I had the depth. Should I send this offer? I have H-Hand, Gordon, Sampson for Gibbs and Hunter. H-Hand, Gordon, Sampson for Gibbs and Hunter. I would definitely send that offer for Gibbs and Hunter. Sure. 100%. I think Shedeur Sanders is better than Caleb. I agree. We are in agreement, young man. We are in agreement. This one's from Sticky. Appreciate you. $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat.
Sticky, appreciate you. Lost week 1. Hurts, Penix, Jamar Chase. Well, Jamar Chase was tough. Buka, Myers, Kyron, Hampton, Hendy, Harvey, Ollie. Good team. Good team. Tyler Warren, love it. Good squad. Waiver trade groups. Genty owner has Kittle. Just need a sanity check. I like the squad a lot. I mean, yeah, you could go after that Kittle owner and just say, I'll give you Njoku and let's see here. I mean, I'd rather have Genty than Hampton. I like Hampton a lot, but I would rather have Genty. So maybe Hampton and Njoku. Maybe you can give up something else like Keenan Allen or Hollywood Brown or or Sampson, or try something like that. And then past that, I think I am standing down a little bit in terms of some trades because I like your players a lot. I'm not necessarily trying to get out any of these players. I think Hurts is fantastic. You could always try and trade Hurts and get something later, but I'd probably hold off on that and see if you can wait out this situation, because your running backs, Harvey will even bounce back at some point, or turn the Jets on. But Hampton, Hendy, and Kyron's pretty damn good with Chase and Buka, and you got Hurts. I wouldn't worry about losing week 1. You got a really, really good team. Try that Genty trade if you can, but that's it. I would rather have Genty. I think Genty's a beast, bro. I think Genty, people are going to be really, really upset that they didn't trade for Genty. That's why you got to go watch this video. This video drops at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 a.m. Pacific time. So get on over to the channel at those times tomorrow morning. Jalen Hurts or Bo Nix? We're gonna go Jalen Hurts, Superflex. I have JD5 as a QB1. I mean, no one's gonna give you Jalen Hurts for Bo Nix right now. And of course, we like Jalen Hurts over Bo Nix. We like Jalen Hurts over Bo Nix at times for redraft. For Dynasty, I do think Bo Nix will be a stud. I really do. And I think that it's just going to take some time. Everybody jumping off the Bo Nix train in 1 week is crazy to me. And if you want to try and use the Caleb Williams example, like somebody tried to do in the live chat before the video started, I read it. They're like, Smitty, so Bo Nix can struggle, but Caleb can't. Caleb has always struggled. Bo Nix was phenomenal last year. Bo Nix was QB7 as a rookie with no weapons last year. I'm not giving up on Bo Nix. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't offend me either. If anybody doesn't want to partake in the Bo Nix journey, that's fine. I don't care. But I like Bo Nix a lot. But you got to start Hurts in redraft. JD5 is my QB. Neighbors, MHJ, McLaurin, Debo, tight end needed, I think you're saying. 2 wide receivers and a flex. RS, I don't know what you're asking me to do here to evaluate the team. I'd say you're probably standing down here on making moves. I appreciate your $20 super chat, by the way.
Alert. Super chat alert.
I don't know what you're asking me to do here, though. If this is my team, I guess I'd be tempted. So 2 wide receivers and a flex. So you're starting Neighbors. I think that's what you're asking me. Neighbors, MHJ, McLaurin, Debo. I'd be tempted if my running backs were in need to try and sell Debo high, because you can't sell McLaurin. You can't really sell MHJ, even though you should be able to, but you probably can't. And Neighbors, maybe you could sell them. Maybe try. So if you could trade Neighbors down to a Lamb or up to a Lamb, whatever, by offering something else, I would consider that for sure. But might be hard to do that. I think, Debo is a pretty good trade piece for straight across Hampton or a Hendy, and those come to mind as moves that would make a lot of sense for teams in your situation. This one here from Savage, he says Jalen Hurts, or I already answered that one. Thank you very much for the super chat, my boy. Let me go back up here. Renegades, appreciate you. How do you feel about Tootin and Tank Bigsby? I love Tootin. I think Tootin's going to ball out at some point. It doesn't mean ETN can't continue to do well. I was going to pick up Fannin and Sampson off waivers and drop them. Should I be panicking on Achane? I wouldn't panic on Achane to any sort of getting rid of him degree. But is there some risk that we don't like? Yes. And could he fall flat on his face or get injured because he gets overworked, or just get low yards per carry and not enough work and the right work? Yeah, it's possible. Could Miami might get fired and then they don't run the team the right way for the rest of the year? There's certainly possibilities of all that, but what is the alternative? Can you trade down to can you give up more and get into Genty? Then I do that. Can you give up more and get into a higher player? Can you trade straight across for Kyron? Can you trade Achane for Breece Hall and Harvey? Can you trade Achane for Breece Hall and Hunter? Can you go get Hampton and Hunter, Hendy and Hunter for Achane? If you could do those moves, I do make those moves. For sure. And then we're going to pick up Fannin Jr. I mean, if Tootin's out there, I kind of like Tootin more than Fannin Jr., but I do love Fannin Jr. He's been atop our waiver wire board all offseason long for a reason at the tight end position. But Tootin is also worth grabbing to win a league. So you kind of got to pick your poison. And usually I'm going with the running back whenever I can. Foundation, appreciate your super chat here. Traded McConkey for Baker. I have Igbuka, Sutton, Garrett Wilson. Okay, traded McConkey for Baker. I have Igbuka, Sutton, Garrett Wilson. QBs are May and Goff. So I assume it's super flex, right? If you traded McConkey for Baker and super flex, I'm okay with that. If it was a 1 QB, you can't trade Baker for McConkey because they have way different valuations, you know. But if it was 1 QB, or 2 QB, I understand. If it was 1 QB, I think that was kind of an overpay. But if it's over, it's over. If it's done, it's done. I think your team looks still very good with Igbuka and Garrett Wilson. I don't know who your running backs are, but I do think, you know, those are good receivers. So, but would I have done that in a 1 QB? The answer is no. Because you just think about where you draft them. Like Baker's going around like 6 or 5, like maybe 5, but it depends on the format. But 5 or 6. But he's a dog. I like Baker a lot. Running backs are Chase Brown, Bucky, Hendy, Harvey, Lamb, BTJ, Igbuka, Rice. Can't start all 4 wide receivers. When Rice gets back. Should I trade one of them for an elite running back like Henry? Yeah, but it's going to be hard to get Henry. Like, you'd have to literally, you probably couldn't get him with even Lamb straight up right now. So, I don't know what your plan of attack would be. You'd have to give up, like, BTJ or Igbuka or something with a running back to get him. So, I would probably say buying Henry right now is not a very smart decision in terms of, you know, how much draft capital, or, how much player capital you're going to have to use to get it. I just don't think it's a good move. I think you're far better off going for Genty because you can pay it. You can use one of those players. You can trade BTJ for Genty, which I probably would do if I need a running back. Sure. Smitty, I have Dak, Genty, Amon-Ra. Okay. I also have Rashee Rice, Addison, my bench. Am I cooked? I don't think you're cooked. I think, you know, you had Genty not go crazy. You had Amon-Ra not go crazy. Terry didn't go crazy. You said the wrong players, like combos. It's not really your fault. Really, really good team. You can't sell low, though, on these guys, so you do have to tough it out. Losing Rice didn't help. So try and stay afloat. Try and get 3 wins, and you'll be okay. If you don't get 3 wins, at least in the next 6 games, it's possible you're on the struggle bus of no return, but I definitely think you have a shot. Okay, so don't give up and just keep trying. Hit the waiver board. Make sure you're not leaving Tootin out there. Tootin could be the difference maker for this team. Tootin could be the difference maker. Someone like Benson could be the difference maker. So really, you might look back and go, damn, I could have actually turned it around, but I didn't. I just didn't. But, okay. 12-team half-point PPR. Burrow, Kyron, Tracy, Jamar Chase, McConkey. Like this team a lot. Bench. Flowers look really good this week. Will he be consistent? We'll see. Really crappy week for you. Well, but your team's really good. Like, you can't overanalyze this too much. Would I maybe trade Flowers right now in your situation with Tracy to go get Hampton or Genty or Hendy? Yes. That would be the move that I would make if I was you, just to shore up that running back room, and your wide receivers are still going to be solid. 1-0, Hurts, JT, Swift, Puka, DJ Moore, Pickens. I think I answered this one already, right? Feel like I should make a move off Swift. Yes, I did answer that one already. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. Appreciate you. Let me see if we got any other $20 haulers that need immediate attention. I don't see those yet. Kittle out. Should I trade Jacoby Myers for Tyler Warren? Good luck doing that. Yes. Will you get it? Will you get that? No. If that's your idea, it's cute. If you pull it off, let us know because we'll celebrate your name. 1 by 1 point had Hendy, Genty, and Harvey start. Can you give me a let's go mashed potatoes? Absolutely.
Mashed potatoes!
Impressive pulling that off. And, you know, don't be discouraged. The team's still very good. Should I buy low on Chase Brown by trading Brees? I would take Chase Brown over Brees, but how are you buying low on Chase Brown? He did score. He did look good. Thoughts on tight end Juwan Johnson? He got 8 receptions. Yeah, I mean, he's the only show in town, and he definitely is on the list. You could even put Juwan ahead of Likely, who's injured, so I think this makes sense. You could even put Juwan ahead of Ertz. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I think that, you know, if you start thinking about how good could Ertz be He could be pretty good. How good could Strange be? These are all pretty close calls, so I think we're splitting hairs with ranking those guys. Appreciate your super chat, my man. Thank you so much for that. Juwan's nice. We have him ranked pretty high. Thank you for the super chat. Drop one Coleman, Judkins, or Blue. I think you're dropping Blue right now, but you got to monitor him. I don't like this question at all. I don't like dropping Blue. Blue could be a league winner if he gets in there, but right now he's not set up to win the league. Drop Ingram or for Fannin. I'd probably take Fannin if push came to shove. It's not an easy call, to drop someone like that, but it is what it is when you're put in a box. So if you're forcing me to choose, drop Hawkinson for Tyler Warren. I would rather have Tyler Warren. But I'm not saying I would drop Hawkinson necessarily because I feel like you could trade him. But if you can't trade him and you're in a box, sure, in a vacuum, that's how I'll answer it. Help, PPR2, Flex, Nico, Knicks, Penix Jr., Chuba, Walker, Algier, Neighbors, BTJ, DJ Moore, Tesla, Ingram, Kincaid, claim for Fannin is in. I like the team a lot. Probably start Penix Jr. Well, Penix Jr. is tough this week, but let's play it by ear on Bonix versus Penix Jr. this week. And I had another question for that. Let's play it by ear. Chuba Walker, it's kind of a rough running back stable. I'm not going to lie. Can you trade Walker and something like DJ Moore for a Hampton, a Hendy? Can you get Charbonnet somewhere now? You probably can't. He's probably impossible to get for you. So I'd probably trade a Walker and DJ Moore for like that Hampton, Hendy. You could have got Hall before the week started, but something like that makes sense. But it's tough. You have to give me some examples too. London, K9, Ricky, Ibuka for Gibbs and JSN. London, K9, Ricky, and Ibuka. So London, man, that's a lot. I'd probably take Gibbs and JSN. London, K9, Ricky, Ibuka. I mean, London and Ibuka is solid, but London's hurt. K9's losing his job. Ricky's good, but Gibbs and JSN, that's tough. I don't know how to accept Ricky and Ibuka too much. I don't know. Chat, do you agree with me on that one? Can you guys vote on this one? Would you rather have the Ibuka Gibbs? Would you rather have the Gibbs and JSN side or the London K9 Ricky and Ibuka? I think I'd rather have the Gibbs and JSN side. It's a great question though, very tough call, and that's how good Ibuka is. It makes you question trading him anytime you're ever trading him. 1-0, JD5, Sutton, Ibuka, Debo, Chase Brown, Hendo. Like the team. Any moves? Probably say I'm moving Pearsall and Judkins together for one better player. I'm trading Judkins for Travis Hunter straight up. I'm trying to turn maybe I like your Hendy, Genty, Chase Brown. Probably trying to turn Sutton into Nico Collins by giving up Charbonnet or Judkins and Sutton for Lamb, potentially. Ladd or Lamb. 470 Lamb. I sent a trade sending Neighbors for Sutton and Ibuka, but canceled it. He would have accepted it now. Did I mess up? Sending Neighbors for Sutton and Ibuka. You could argue that. I don't think you've messed up by pulling that. I mean, you're expecting a lot out of Neighbors, and I probably would say I'd slightly rather have Neighbors right now. Don't want to again put the cart before the horse on this situation that we love so much in Emeka Egbuka, but you got to also be smart with it. And when you're handed a Neighbors, you almost have to take it. It's not one of those things where you just, trade with your heart or don't do a trade because you love somebody like Egbuka so much. We feel like we called Egbuka. $20 hauler here from my boy Cameron. Cameron, thank you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Cameron, you're the man, the myth, the legend. Dynasty startup draft tomorrow. Any targets after this week? This year is entries $50 and then it's $250 going forward. Feels like I should target rookies. I still target Hendy on the cheap. I still target Harvey, Hampton, of course, on the cheap. Egbuka obviously is a must. I'm still targeting Gibbs. Gibbs will be cheaper than he should be. I think Genty is one of my favorite targets right now in this type of format, so I would say Genty. Genty might fall too. Genty might very well fall. Trade Hurts for Derrick Henry. Owner has Goff. Of course, I would take Derrick Henry. I mean, if it's super flex, maybe not. But if it's not, I don't know how you'd even pull that trade off. That's crazy. That's madness. This one here from Alpha. Let me see. Hold on one second. Did I just get rid of the super chat? His offer, not mine. He has Bowers. Okay. Well, congrats on any amazing trade you pull off tonight. Let us know what you did and how it looks at the end of it all. And if it's been pulled or whatever, just let us know. Thank you for the super chat. 0-1, Murray, Herbert, Chase, BTJ, Jonathan Taylor, Cook, Ingram. I think that you were talking about that trade. I said that is that your idea. It's cute. Unless you put the trade in the message again, I won't remember what your question was. So I'm pretty sure that was from you, but I'm not positive. 0-1, Murray, Herbert, Jamar Chase, BTJ, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Evan Ingram, Tyreek Hill, trade Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, trade DJ Moore. Keep Debo, but be open-minded to something. I'm trading JT for Genty. I'm trading James Cook for Genty. Now, you're going to have to give up more to turn James Cook into Genty, but I would do it. But you definitely might be able to do JT for Genty. Would I trade Tyreek Hill and James Cook for Genty? Yes, I would. Would I trade Tyreek Hill for Hampton or Hendy, or James Cook for Hampton or Hendy? Yes, I would. Do I try and get more if I can? Yes, I would. Should I do to upgrade? There you go. Hollywood on waivers. He's all right. I don't know. Hollywood's not bad. Trade my Pickens and Javonte for Drake. I assume that's London. There's a Drake May and a Drake London, my guy. You got to be clarify on that. Trade Pickens and Javonte for Drake, London, and Addison, I think is what you're asking. And I would very much rather have Drake, London, and Addison. I have Saquon, Hendy. And then you try and flip them, Addison if you can. Yes, sir. Smitty, this is from Famous Amos. Smitty, which roster settings do you prefer? 2/3 league mates have standard rosters, but the one I lost in has some Mickey Mouse settings. I mean, just standard PPR, bro. 6 points per TD pass I like, and then PPR. I don't do tight end premium. I don't like any of that. I like the old school PPR. I think it's just the best way to go. It's the most content's available for it. Or if you want 0.5 PPR, I'm fine with that. Underdogs 0.5 PPR. I'm used to both of those. 12-man, 2 flex, Mahomes, Bucky, Hendy, Lamb, Garrett Wilson. Benson, Braylon Allen. He moves. Oh. Yeah. Bucky, Hendy, Lamb, Garrett Wilson. I like this team. I'm sitting on it. I'm not doing a thing. Breece Hall, Hunter. It's a great team. The bench has some potential movability, like JCM and what though? JCM and Hunter for maybe a lad or higher. Sure, I'm okay with that. If you want to go get Lad McConkey now using that and not waiting on Hunter, I get it. It makes sense. But if you didn't, your team might be just as good, if not better. I mean, it could be. Profit Smitty, is it safe? Is it safe to bench J-Mo for Debo? Right now, yeah, absolutely. Debo's an electric player. Bench Nix for Penix. In the right matchup, maybe not this week. Let's wait until a little bit later in the week to make that call. One big money league, but lost my home league thanks to Nix and J-Mo. Well, yeah, Nix might frustrate you if you bench him and then he goes nuts and the Penix Jr. has a matchup that's a little harder. But let's go with Penix Jr. for now, and then let's adjust and adapt. Thoughts on Tyler Warren and Daniel Jones connection rest of the year? We love Tyler Warren no matter what. They're just doesn't even matter necessarily who's throwing to him, but this is a good connection. It'll be force fed all day long. Also sell Kyle Pitts for ETN or Harvey. Either one. And there's pros and cons to going and getting Harvey now and paying that. And then, just pros and cons, my boy. Absolutely. And I think, did I get rid of that? Hold tight on or upgrades. I think I was going to answer this one and I closed it. Hold tight or upgrade. Full PPR, ESPN. Penix, Saquon, Chase Brown, Javonte, Hendy, Spears, wide receivers, MHJ, Pickens, Igbuka, Thornton, Hunter, Rashee Rice, Pitts, and Warren. Sit tight. I like the team a lot, my boy. I like it a lot. Am I trying to trade Saquon for Genty and something? because I can? Yes, I am. I still am. I'm hanging on to Thornton. I'm hanging on to Rice. I love Tyler Warren. Your tight end situation is really good. I'd say, if I can move maybe a Saquon and my quarterback for a Genty and an upgrade from Penix, but I do like Penix. Saquon and MHJ to a BTJ and Genty, or a Javante moved up into a Hampton using Saquon down to Genty. But Genty would be the one guy I would target if I'm you, I think, because I like Genty so much going forward, and he's so cheap right now. Smitty and Travis are goated. Thank you. Advice from you two got me the win, and 0 from Worthy. Thanks. Yeah, I got a lot of 0. Not a lot, but I got Worthy in I think 2 or 3 of my many leagues that are not best ball, and that 0 was tough. Dak, H-Han, Genty, Hendy, Marv, T-Mac, Tyler Warren. Love the team. J-Mo, Thornton, Ingram. Trade Hendy and Marv for Ladd and Brees. I think it's safer. I'm fine with that. And look, you probably have a lot of Hendy shares, right? So it doesn't hurt to hedge your bets a little bit. I think I'd probably take Ladd and Brees in that particular question. Very, very tough call, though. I mean, very, very solid ideas that you guys have. Some of these are really good. 3 wide receiver league. I have Rice, Addison on the bench. Got Garrett Wilson and Buka as my top wide receivers. Should I start Tesla or a waiver wire for a 3rd wide receiver? I mean, I need to know the other example. Like, what else could you get? I'd say Tesla is pretty good. They're going to give him more work, says Campbell. So I really like the idea. I just don't know what the other alternative is as you await those 2 players. I've got Dak Fields, Hampton, Harvey, J.K., Pacheco, Joe Mixon, Justin Jefferson, BTJT. I'd probably be trading T if I can, but you might not be able to. Pearsall, I sell high. I just do. Pearsall, maybe like a JK or a Pearsall Pacheco for just one of those players that, I mean, you have Harvey already. That sucks you can't trade for him because he'd be good. You could also go Harvey and Pearsall and you send JK, the combo, and you could go get potentially a player that is undervalued like Kyron or something like that. Pearsall and Harvey for Kyron. Pearsall and Harvey for, I mean, you're probably not getting Genty, but you could try, T. Higgins and maybe Pearsall for one big, huge wide receiver. I kind of think like St. Brown and Nico are very undervalued, so I'd be tempted to do that. But it's kind of hard to say what you could get for 2 wide receivers, but try. Most people that, want to trade, they want a running back and a receiver when you're doing a 2 for 2, but try the 2 wide receivers for 1 wide receiver. Traded Devontae Smith, Rome, Shipley for Hunter, Debo, Tootin. Like that a lot. 14-team league, smash. Love the team. Love what it did for you. I'd still be eyeballing trading Christian McCaffrey, who's going to be getting overworked with a calf issue. And he does have a calf issue. You can say what you want, but you don't have a calf issue on a Thursday with bilateral chronic Achilles tendonitis, and it goes away by going and getting the most amount of touches out of any running back in the league in week 1. And Shanahan's going to break him. He's going to break him. And now that Purdy's maybe not playing week number 2, Kittle's out for 4 to 5 games, McCaffrey's going to get overworked until he's broken by week 4 or 5. 0.5 PPR, 12-man. This is a squad. What move should I make? Kyler, Genty, Walker. I'm trading Walker. Keeping CD. Walker and Waddle. Walker and Worthy if it's possible. Walker and Krosky Merritt to try and maybe upgrade from Walker to a Hampton, to a Hendy, or because you have a potential Charbonnet or Krosky Merritt thing brewing, you could trade Walker straight across for a Ladd McConkey or a player like that. I definitely would be intrigued by that. Walker and Waddle for Ladd would be a fantastic trade. Fantastic trade. All the people who think CMC is going to be healthy all year with Shanahan overworking him when he's struggled with a calf injury is wild. Dalton Kincaid was dropped in my league right before week 1. I've got Ingram and Tucker Kraft. Do I drop one of them to stack Kincaid with Josh Allen? Stacking Kincaid with Josh Allen won't get you more points in redraft, but I probably say Kraft is safer, and I think Ingram I don't want to necessarily. I would do the Ingram thing if you feel like he's not going to help you anytime soon. Ingram is tough. to bank on right now. He really is. Let's see here. I own Kenneth Walker with no Charbonnet. Need a running back too bad. I have McBride and Warren. I just traded Warren and Kenneth Walker for Javonte and Dante Thornton. Is that a smart trade? I don't think so, man. I mean, you don't. Javonte looks solid, but I would not have traded. I would not have traded Warren. Warren's gonna have so much more value. I would have waited a week for him to gain more value. You could get Hampton right now. You could get a player like that. I just think I like Javonte, but I would have. It's not the worst trade in the world, but I would not have done it. I think the chat would agree it's probably not a good trade. So that's a tough one, man. I'm sorry to give you the bad news that I don't like it, but I think the chat will probably agree. $10 hauler, Lawrence, Puka, Tet, Tesla, Thornton, Genty, Kamara. Ideas for trading upgrade. Trade for a wide receiver. I like the idea of maybe trading. I'd trade Kamara. Genty and Hall is fantastic. Judkins is good trade bait. Kamara and Judkins, or Tet McMillan and Kamara. Tet McMillan and Judkins. I'd trade Tet McMillan and Kamara for Genty. I'd trade Tet McMillan and Kamara for Nico, for St. Brown. I'd trade Kamara for Hampton. For Hendy, you may own one of Hendy or Hampton. I just closed it, but I love the rest of the team though. It's really solid squad. Accidentally bet $200 on Swift over 16.5 receiving yards and had 11 on the first drive and nothing after. I'm so sick. Was supposed to bet $20 on rigged. Sorry, Jack. I hear a lot of accidentallys lately. Like I accidentally did this and I accidentally did that, and then most it's like I don't know if you accidentally did that. Can you put up my other super chat in the front of the line? Let's do that, Jesse. Thank you for the $20 haul.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Jesse to the moon. Jesse, appreciate you. Did I already answer it maybe? Let's see if I already answered it, Jesse. Appreciate you. I think I did. 12-man, 2 flex, Mahomes, Bucky, Hendy, Lamb, Garrett Wilson, and Joku, Brees, Hunter, Bench, Coleman, JCM, Benson. Any moves? Is this the one where I said I would probably... I like the team a lot. If I don't remember seeing that, this is a great team. Great team. I don't touch it. This might be the one where I said JCM and Joku maybe, or JCM and maybe I didn't get to this one. This one might not have been got to yet. This is a great team. I like this, bro. I don't think I move anything. JCM and maybe Joku for like a Tyler Warren. JCM and I don't think I want to move anything. I like it a lot. I think this is a great team. It's a championship team. Jesse, where you at? I don't think there's anything to move, my boy. I don't think you do anything. Frankie, whatever Travis is telling you, listen to him, or he's going to put you in timeout for probably 12 hours, 24 hours. So stop. Jesse, where you at? Jesse, I like this team, my boy. You answered it as soon as I sent the $20 hauler. Thank you. Yeah, sorry I didn't celebrate the $20 hauler right when it came in.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Jesse, real quickly, while you have me here, do you have a follow-up? I'll keep searching or looking for your response. But I would love to help you again since you dropped the $20 hauler. So if you have a follow-up, please let me know. But I wouldn't touch that team. I think I gave you a JCM maybe recommendation. But even looking at it again, I don't know that there's anything to move, my boy. It is a fantastic squad. $2 hauler from Sack. Appreciate you dropping the empty. Make sure you include it in the message, and you don't really. There's no. Hey, check the longer message after, because that defeats the whole purpose of the super chat. I miscalculated the bet. Thought it was JJ McCarthy. I got you. I wasn't saying that you didn't do it. I would just. A lot of people say I accidentally did this or accidentally did that. 8-man, half PPR, Burrow, Genty, What do you think? I think it's a good team. Jamar Chase, BTJ. I'm not doing anything here either. Maybe Pollard and potentially B-Rob, or Pollard and I don't know. I don't think I'm moving anything here. Pollard and Harvey for one slightly better, like Hampton or Hendy or something like that if you could pull it off. But Pollard and Rice right now to get like Lab McConkey, I'd do that. McConkey's kind of the nice player to trade for right now, and he's on the buy low list for this week, which will be coming out tomorrow or on Wednesday. And this is just a sneak peek of what players will be on the list. Of course, the whole board will be full. And this preview show, which we call the mining show, the mining for buy lows and sell highs, that show will be featured Genty and a teaser of the bigger show. And each week we will have a buy low mining show, which mines from the bigger list in the bigger show that will follow the next day. So it's kind of like a preview show of the coming week show. So get ready for that. I love the concept of it, and we're gonna have two basically buy low shows that way. And this one here, two QB league trade, May, Reed, and Hendy for Mahomes and Harvey. I probably would do this because I believe in Harvey delivering for you. I think you missed my chat about the $200 bet. I think you dropped that after we talked about it. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Tootin or Gordon. Now, this is one where it's like right now it's Tootin. I'm not saying to cut Gordon. I would try and figure out another way, but you do need Tootin right now over Gordon. And the waiver board shows that right here. The waiver board expresses that right here. So Krosky Merritt, if he was still available, probably not anymore, but he's still on there right now because in some formats. But Tootin is the number 2, maybe the number 1 overall pickup of the week right now. You said trade DJ Moore, but who would you even trade him for? Almost zero value tonight. Hunter, but you'd have to give up more. You'd have to DJ Moore and somebody, or DJ Moore for Tootin, or DJ Moore for Harvey, and you give up something. Like you're gonna have to get creative and do more of like a 2 for 1. I don't think anybody's gonna take DJ Moore straight up. Young says drop Ferguson for Fannin. I probably would, yes. Caleb Williams is not him, says DTX. Kind of surprised that people didn't know that before the game started, but we had a lot of people running their mouth at me when he was 10 for 10 when we ended the live stream. We could dip into the Monday game a little bit, right? And then we watched him go 10 for 10, and everybody's like, Smitty's going to be apologizing after the game. And one guy was like, when I left, I think it was Mike or a couple other people too, and they're like, I can't wait for the show to end. The post-game show, we're just going to rip into Smitty. On the verge of possibly getting Bucky for Pittman. No, you're not, Raul. You're not. You do that, we'll quit our jobs and come work for you, bro. Come on, get real. No one's doing that trade. Not even a grandma would do that trade. Hey, Smitty, down 0-1. Dak May, Bucky Hall, Monty, Caleb, Mason, wide receivers, London, CD. Your team's fantastic, man. Maybe, keep Warren. Maybe I'm trading Pickens and probably Monty, Pickens, and Mason for just some sort of like Lad McConkey or potential... I think Travis Hunter's a good buy low right now, but if you're doing anything, you're consolidating. So you're going Monty Pickens for something like, something like Lad's perfect. Hampton's perfect. Hendy's perfect. Those are great potential players to get. And, throwing Caleb in, I do that. London and Mason, or London and Pickens to get a safer Nico right now, given that London's banged up. Like, that's the only thing that I would potentially look at. Smitty, to clarify my additional $20 hauler question, wanted to see if you were dropping my bench for anyone on waivers. Sorry for the late follow-up. Okay, try if you can next time, just ask the question again here versus having to go find it and then trying to figure it out. Let's see here. Last week one. So your additional question was, wanted to see if you were dropping anyone on my bench for anyone on waivers. So your bench is, Njoku, I suppose, if I needed to drop somebody. So waivers, Coleman, Tootin. Go get Tootin right now. And I do like Tootin over Ollie right now, but I'd rather, because you have Tyler Warren, drop Njoku. So I'd say drop Njoku for Tootin. And Tootin's near worth a full low drop. Sticky really is. I almost say that, we've liked him all offseason anyway, but he might be worth a full low drop. He truly, truly might be. Right now, it feels like he's, I don't want to throw 9s and 10s around unnecessarily right now, but he feels like a 8 out of 10 of being the best pickup of the year out of a scale of 1 to 10. Smitty, 10-man, 2 flex, Lamar, Genty, Kamara, JCM. Who's 10? Is that Tootin maybe? Charbonnet, Judkins, Gordon, Jettas, MHJ, Sutton, Debo, Addison. I'd probably say Sutton and maybe Kamara for one player. Genty would have been my guy, but you have him already. Kyron. Kamara for Hendy. Judkins and Sutton for Hendy. Hampton, those guys for Hampton. JCM and Sutton for Hampton. Or keep JCM and do Judkins. Those would be good potential moves, my boy. Appreciate you dropping that. Nice team. Very nice team. That Truth. Appreciate you dropping the wattage on screen. Thank you very much. Kyler, CD, Ibuka, Bowers, Aaron Jones, Chuba, Hubbard on the bench, Caleb, Bigsby, and Reed. Who can I trade for a running back? I'm going to say not much you can do here except for trade, let's say. Bowers is hurt right now. CD didn't have a great game like Buka, but I don't think you got anything that can get you maybe a Dunze. Maybe you go after Harvey using a Dunze or Reed or both of them. Caleb Johnson and a Dunze. You could maybe trade Hubbard down into, I don't know. This is a tough trade. Aaron Jones and a Dunze for like a Harvey, and you take a gamble there, a Charbonnet. Otherwise, you're trading Buka into, let's say, a Lad McConkey and a Hampton, and you give up Caleb Johnson, or you give up a Dunze or something like that. That's the only way to really go there. You don't have a lot of trade power right now, and selling low on guys is never wise. Rate your team: Genty, Hampton, Puka, Sutton, Kittle, Tracy, Flowers. Like the team, I'm using Flowers and JCM. I'm using Flowers and Sharps. I'm definitely getting Hunter in there. I think I might have answered this question already. Hampton and Genty and Puka are fantastic. So it really just comes down to maybe Kittle and Sutton for a tight end. You could go Kittle and drop Scat for Fannin. I don't want you to drop Scat. Damn it. I guess. Scat looked good, and eventually he's going to start, and you're going to regret it. But I get it. You gotta potentially pick someone up. Unless you can't you just put Kittle in the IR spot and then grab Fannin without dropping anybody? I feel like that's not. Maybe drop a kicker and then work it out. Try and figure out something in the meantime. But I'd probably do that. Youngsters, are we starting Fannin until further notice? It depends on your options, so I can't really answer that question until I know the context. But I'd say in a vacuum, yeah. I've got Ferguson on my team, Johnson plus Fannin both available. I would take Fannin, but no room. Should I swap one out? I would say Ferguson for Fannin. But Fannin is risky. Like, he could end up doing nothing next week and then do something the next week. He's a rookie, but I like him a lot, and they love him. 1-0, Genty, London, Kyron, Garrett Wilson, MHJ. Any moves? I'd probably say with this squad, I'm standing down unless I can move London for like Nico, or London for a player like St. Brown, who struggled, and people are just wanting to get rid of those players. Past that, I'm probably standing down. I like everything you got. There's nothing really to move. I don't want you to sell Kyron low, Garrett Wilson. I don't really want you to sell him at all. MHJ, you'd be selling low. Hall. If I was trading Hall for like Hampton or Hendy, and then maybe able to upgrade Pickens into BTJ or doubted Nico or something, then I would consider that, or a Garrett Wilson to a Lamb. Like, that would make me make that downgrade. Jerry, appreciate you. Got Joey B. Running backs are Gibbs, Achane, Chase Brown, Hendy, Debo, T-Mac, Buka. Love the team. Loveland, let me know. I love the squad. The only thing I'd even consider trading at this point would be like Achane and T-Mac to go a little safer at RB like Genty. That would be a home run trade, Jerry. Just a safer way to go. Safer avenue, for sure. Thank you, 1 million, for the $20 super chat. You monster, you. Appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you very much. 1 QB redraft. Hurts, RB, Bijan, Bucky, Ladd, Ibuka. Love the team. Garrett Wilson, Hawkinson, benches, Jalen Warren, Ollie, Ted. So drop Jalen Warren for Tootin. Yes, 100%. Trade ideas, I'd say Ted McMillan and Hawkinson for that better tight end, maybe McBride if you could pull it off. Ted McMillan and maybe Ted McMillan and I think that's what I'm doing. Ted McMillan, and I like Ladd and Garrett Wilson, but I suppose Nico or player higher, you could do the Ted McMillan and that player for the Nico or Lamb. Like Garrett Wilson and Ted for like Lamb, or Ladd and Ted for Lamb, or Ladd and Ted for Nico possibly. But you might like Ladd and Wilson more, and I don't blame you. I'm not moving the running backs, not moving the quarterback, not moving Igbuka. Hawkinson and Ted for that McBride upgrade, or Bowers who's banged up. I'd do either one of those. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Tyler, appreciate you for the super chat. Help, 10-man, 0-1, Panic, Dak, Taylor, Kyron, CD, Amon-Ra, Tyler Warren, Debo. Love everything. Rice, you wait on. So Monty and Taylor, JT. Monty and JT. Monty and Dak for a quarterback upgrade, but Monty and JT might get me, in my mind, I'm getting Genty. In my mind, I'm going and getting Hendy and something maybe in some sort of Monty and JT for 2-for-2 type deal. Go to the Gibbs owner, see if they want Monty, if they're worried at all. Go try and get Gibbs using JT and Monty. Would I even give up like a Rice now to get Ladd McConkey? Absolutely. So Rice and... Would I trade RJ Harvey and Rice alone for like one Nico Collins or St. Brown? Sure. And somebody might do that wants to take a gamble on an RB and they're really struggling. Second waiver pickup, Fields or Hollywood Brown, 14 team roster, Kyler. I think I'd probably take Fields. And Fields might have a little bit more, just a touch more trade bait value anyway. 18 league, half PPR, Burrow. Appreciate you. Burrow, Genty, Hendy, Chase, Jamar Chase, BTJ, Warren, Buka. Nothing to trade here. Nothing. Waiting on Rice. Hunter is IDP. Like this. I think I already saw this, but that team's fantastic. Just wait on that squad. That squad's balling. Absolute balling. Jack, what are your thoughts on JJ McCarthy overall? I like what I saw tonight. We did a whole beginning of the show on it, so I can't really redo the whole thing, Jack. Yeah, definitely rewatch it if you missed it. But I think that it's promising from a facilitating perspective as a team's quarterback, not fantasy. And I'm more excited about what JJ might potentially bring to the table now. I was thinking we're all going to be petrified Peters coming out of this game because the first three quarters really, it looked like Justin Jefferson was going to be in a world of hurt. Now everything seems to be okay. I still want to see more before I feel ultra confident that Justin Jefferson's going to be, as high a value as we want him to be. Connor for Pickens, I'd take Pickens, or Kyron for Pickens, and in Dunze, I'd rather have Kyron, and I'd rather have Kyron overall. Need receivers, have Gibbs, JCM, and Tootin. Well, I'm not trading Kyron for Pickens and Dunze. I want to trade Kyron for a freaking Nico or at least like a Ladd and something. That's it. It doesn't matter if I need wide receivers. I'm waiting before I just sell to the highest bidder. Running backs are Chase Brown and Warren, RJ Harvey, Sharbs. Wide receivers are Jamar Chase, BTJ, Tesla, Thornton, and QB's Fields and McCarthy. I have Kittle, but he's hurt. Who should I drop for Fannin? Should I pick up Tootin? You should definitely pick up Tootin. I would drop... of these names that you give me, I'm dropping probably Thornton for Fields, and I'm dropping probably Mims for Tootin. Not an easy call, but those are better players that can probably be more league winning right now. Thank you for the idea on the other team. Now is another squad. What are the ideas for Hurts, Bajan, Kyron, Puka, Olave, Hunter, Kittle, benches? You're waiting on Tootin. He might gain some tremendous value, so do not drop him. B-Rob to the CMC owner might be valuable to you. So maybe, and the CMC owner probably is a Niner fan, and they might take Kittle too, so explore that. I would definitely trade Kittle right now for Tyler Warren and get something else in exchange. Godwin, I'd throw in any deal just to get it done. not trading Hurts, Bijan, or Kyron or Puka, unless I'm trading Puka for Ladd and a huge upgrade somewhere else, or I'm trading Puka for Nico and St. Brown or St. Brown. And then if I do that, I'm trying to get a little more because I feel like those players are doubted right now, right? Would I be tempted to get, if you can start a third running back as a flex, would I be tempted to trade Puka for, let's call it Ladd and Hampton, and then if you have to give up a little extra something like Godwin or Downs or something, of course you do it. I think overall your team's pretty good, and I'm sitting tight. It's just, can you get rid of Kittle and Downs, or Kittle and Olave, or Kittle and maybe even Hunter for like one player? But at the end of the day, not a lot to move because the pieces that can be tradable are not moving. So just try all those little moves if you can. Kittle go to the Tyler Warren owner, see if they've got another tight end and they're not using Tyler Warren. But it's going to be hard to trade Kittle for Tyler Warren because Kittle's out. Somebody going to be like, yeah, give me no tight end. But if the Tyler Warren owner has another tight end that's pretty comparable, or not comparable, but comparable to Tyler Warren in their mind because they don't appreciate Tyler Warren, then they might get rid of him. But maybe B-Rob to the CMC owner opens one of these doors. So go to the CMC owner, see what B-Rob would do for them, and then see if you can get your tight end swapped out, or if you could potentially even upgrade Puka to Lamb, Puka to Nico potentially, and maybe you like Puka more than Nico. And if that's the case, that's fine. I understand. I get it. It's not crazy. My Rice and Ricky for Garrett Wilson and Sharps. I would take Garrett Wilson and Sharps right now by quite a bit. It's just a safer move. I want to trade CMC. Who should I try and get? Start off with the Genty owner and see if you can get a little something more. Start off with a Hendy owner and get a little bit more. And then start off with the Hampton owner, or Hampton, and see if you can get even more. And the more you go down, the more you can add to that, right? So be careful not to surrender straight up 1-for-1 when you don't need to. K9 Mason for Harvey and Braylon Allen. I have Sharps. I would rather have Harvey at the end of the day. I can't promise you what's going to happen and how quickly it happens. You have to be patient. You can't get mad after one more week, even if it doesn't happen yet. But that's how I would look at that. Fields, Bijan, Chase Brown, AJ Brown, Rice, DJ Moore, Tet. I'm trying to trade AJB and Tet. And if JCM can get you, that combo can get you Nico or a Genty or a Hampton or a Hendy, I'm smashing the hell out of that type of trade. And honestly, I would trade AJB for Ladd straight up. And some people will do that, some people won't. So he's got to kind of get creative up in here. JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, JSN, Bijan, CMC, Charbonnet, Addison, 12-man standard. Please rate my team. I know it looks fake, but it's not. I like the team. I mean, it's great. McCarthy, Jefferson, JSN, Bijan, CMC, Hawkinson, JCM. I'm probably still trying to move CMC, my boy. Genty and something. Genty and Addison for, or CMC and Addison for Genty and Hunter. Like something like that. But go to the Genty owner, go to the Hampton owner, go to the Kyron owner, go to the Hendy owner, and the further down you go, the bigger that wide receiver's got to be, especially if you're giving Addison with it. And if you're not, then it's got to be like a free Travis Hunter, a free Ladd McConkey, or Ladd McConkey for Addison to go CMC to Genty, like that kind of combination. And then I'm kind of looking to move Hawkinson down to Tyler Warren if that's at all possible. And even if I had to give up a little bit more, I probably would to get that, like Addison, and then maybe they give you another player. But I'm definitely intrigued by getting Tyler Warren in all those situations. Hey, Smitty, 0-1. Should I try and trade or pick up Allen, Genty, Josh Allen, Genty, Hendy, Kamara, Bill, Ollie, London, Worthy? You got hit with some wide receiver injuries. I'm trading Pearsall or Tet with Kamara to go get Kyron. I'm trading Kamara for Hampton. I'm trading Tet and Kamara for Nico Collins or St. Brown, or especially Lamb. I'm trading Worthy and Bill for Nico. I'm doing all those kinds of moves, and I'm trading London and Pearsall or London and Bill for Nico to get out of that, or Lamb especially, to get out of that injury risk. But I do still love London. And London may not miss a game. He may miss just one game. Today, Arthur Smith. Today, Raheem Morris said that he's not going to give an update, won't know more till tomorrow, but he says, I'm not going to meet with you guys, the reporters, tomorrow, so can't really deliver that message myself, but I'm not going to say anything now. All I can tell you is that I talked to London, and he's doing great. That's what he said. He said he felt good about it. Would you trade Hampton and Chase Brown for Harvey and Marv? Absolutely not. Like, not even close. And I love Harvey, but he's not there yet. So no, the answer is absolutely no. Guys, make sure you get on over to Underdog, promo code Smitty. Play 5, get 5 on Underdog. Fantastic place to play weekly fantasy football. Underdog. Let's get into a draft real quickly for week number 2. This will be interesting. It's always fun to get into these once. So start signing up. Sign in here. All right, so how do you get in? How do you get in over an Underdog? You're going to go to this link that I'm going to drop in the live chat. The link's in the description of the video. Code Smitty gets it done as well. There's the link right there. So get in to the app right now. I'll give you about a minute or so to sign up if you haven't already. So don't click on anything yet. We're going to open up the app under Originals, and there'll be a carousel of drafts under the Original tab. And we're going to go to the Battle Royale week number 2, $7 Battle Royale week 2. So I'm going to give you guys about a minute, or maybe in a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get into that. Again, it's code Smitty. The link's in the description. The link's in the live chat. I'm going to pin the link right now in the live chat this very second, and then that way you guys will be able to click it. But it takes only about a few minutes to sign up, and we should do a couple drafts. So if you don't get into the first one, don't fret. We'll be doing more than one. Sorry if I missed, bro. Hold or sell Swift. I'd probably sell him. Thank you, Jazzy. I'd probably sell him if I can. I mean, I don't know if you can. I think you probably can. Would I take Harvey straight up? Yes. Would I take Travis Hunter straight up? Yes. Those are two players I'm very much eager to trade for right now. Would I throw them into a deal to move, let's say, a Josh Jacobs into a Genty, or to move a wide receiver that was lower than Ladd into Ladd, or a wide receiver that's lower than BTJ into BTJ. Like, doing that kind of 2-for-1 deal with him being involved is probably your best bet at really getting some good value. Elton, appreciate your super chat, my boy. TJ, appreciate your super chat. And then Elton with that $20 hauler. Thank you, my boy, for dropping the $20 hauler, Elton. Elton to the moon. Elton says, hold on.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Elton, thank you. 12-man, 1 QB starters are JD5, Bajan, Kyron, MHJ, Debo, Kittle, Travis Hunter, benches, Rashee Rice. Love the team. I'm waiting on Rice if I can. I would trade him for Ladd straight up. I'd potentially trade Kittle and Rashee Rice to go get McBride or something, which I don't know if someone would do if they're willing to wait on Kittle or not. But I definitely feel like that could be a move that gets you out of a hole, not waiting 3 to 5 weeks. And you're waiting for Rice anyway. So something like that makes sense from an ambulance chaser type of mentality. Would I trade MHJ and Rice or something for a bigger Nico Collins and just surrender that extra value? Maybe, just because then you don't start off 0-3 or 0-5, and then you're not even making anything anyway. But I like Bajan, Kyron, MHJ, Debo, Travis Hunter, Rashee Rice. Once Rice is back, JD5. I personally think even with the loss of Kittle and Rice, you're still going to be at least 3-3. So probably don't do anything versus overdo this situation. But Rice and Kittle for McBride would be awesome. Rice, and if you can't do that because no one wants to do that, you could go Kittle and MHJ for Nico and something. You know, maybe the person that's Tyler Warren might have a wide receiver that's a little bit better than MHJ or a little bit better than Debo. And then you could swap Kittle out for Tyler Warren and get that slight wide receiver upgrade. Try that. That would be probably the easiest way to try and maneuver out of that situation. Guys, again, we're going to be jumping into an underdog draft here in just 1 second. Play 5, get 50 using code Smitty, using the link that I dropped in the live chat, the link that is pinned in the live chat, this link right here that I just dropped fresh in the live chat, the link that's in the description of the video. But again, code Smitty gets it done as well. We'll be drafting here in a second. Any moves in this 12-man league? Nix, Genty, Achane, Puka, Hunter, Ingram, JCM, Gordon, Mason, Penix Jr., J-Mo. Probably saying, bro, any moves, 12-man, Nix, Genty. I like this team a lot. I think you'll be fine. J-Mo and Ingram, I don't know anybody's even traded for Ingram, but like for Tyler Warren. Or J-Mo and JCM for Hampton. J-Mo and JCM for Hendy. J-Mo and Achane for you got Genty already. J-Mo and Achane for you get Hampton and something in another player. Achane's hard to up. I mean, Kyron, Achane and J-Mo for Kyron and something, but it's gonna be hard to like just get a better player because you got Genty. You're not gonna get a Henry or anything. You could try, but probably not. No one's trading Henry right now. Trying to think of a player that even makes sense other than you're probably gonna have to do 2 for 2s. Would I give JCM and Achane for Kyron and a small piece? Yeah. Would I do go to the Tyler Warren owner and see if you can do Tyler Warren and a slightly better player than Achane for Achane and JCM, or Achane and Ingram, or Achane and JCM and Ingram. It's a tough spot to be in, bro. There's not a lot you can do because no one's buying. I guess Puka. You know what? That might be the avenue. Trade Puka for Nico, and if it's a downgrade to the person because they're freaking out over Nico, you get to move maybe either Achane up one running back spot to a safer vehicle, or you're able to move J-Mo or JCM into something else. Puka and JCM for Hampton and another wide receiver that's not that far from Puka. Try that, I suppose. And then this one right here, trade K9 for Pollard. I have Sharps. No, Pollard isn't enough, man. You got to go after something different. Hampton, Hendy, even like a Harvey or something. Harvey's a risky play, but that's still better. This $10 hauler. Love the show. Only one I watched. Thank you, pal. JD5, JSN, Garrett Wilson, Bajan, Kyron, Tyler Warren, Buka, benches, Harvey, Debo, Sharps, JCM. Love the squad. Should I make any moves? Got offered Neighbors for Garrett Wilson and Debo. I think that's a lot to give. Garrett Wilson and Debo over Neighbors, I think. But if you could get something back, I think maybe we need to look at that. But it'd have to be something significant. Past that, I think your bench and depth is so good. I don't know that I'm even touching this. JSN and Debo for one bigger monster. I guess you're being offered that, though. Garrett Wilson, Debo. Look, you can maybe do this. Chat, with his team, does he take this trade? Maybe he does. I just don't, Neighbors, maybe Neighbors is not a huge upgrade this year as we await this situation. Dable seems incompetent. I'd try and get something back. Chat, can we vote on this one real quickly? Would you rather have Neighbors in his situation with a surplus of players? Would you rather just take Neighbors over Garrett Wilson and Debo? I kind of feel like right now it's a little too much. Might change our minds in a couple weeks, but right now it feels like too much. I love Neighbors, but he's a risk at finishing the year even. I suppose I would say, can you go get Nico using maybe Debo and JCM? Could you get St. Brown for that? can you maybe go get it's so tough because you're not even using Debo. I mean, he's not even using Debo. Yeah, everyone's saying no on that, but you're not using Debo right now. But the depth is nice. But I guess I maybe go after Lamb. Try Lamb, Callie. Lamb or higher. I mean, that's just the end of the day. That's just the way you got to look at it. All right, let's jump in. Go into an underdog draft. Again, you're going to pull up the underdog app. The link's in the live chat. I'll drop the link one more time. It's pinned. And if you miss out on this one right now, just sign up real quickly. You should get into the next one. Go to Battle Royale Week 2, $7. Click it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Battle Royale Week number 2. I'll pull it up and put it on screen. 4 more to start. That means you guys will be able to get into this draft with me. The link is dropped in the live chat. The link, Code Smitty also gets it done. Let's draft here. Doing it live from the one spot, baby. And this is only the morning and afternoon slate of games. They do not include the Sunday night game, the Monday game. I think I'm going to take Derrick Henry here. Derrick Henry has to be, and honestly, the whole world's wrong on Derrick Henry. The whole world is. Just because if they were right, they would be drafting him at 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't know if he'll get hurt. I don't know. I don't think anybody should really care at this point. It's just he seems like right now he's going to continue to be put in amazing positions. And I think the touchdowns will be there no matter what. So Henry is probably the one guy. If I could look back and redo anything, it would be draft a whole lot more Derrick Henry in round 1, at the tail end of round 1, because you could do it. You could get away with it. And that's my one regret. He looks like it's still going to be this year. He's not going to slow down this year. Could he get hurt at any moment? Sure. But that's probably my number one regret. CMC's your first pick. Of course it is, Frankie, because that's all you got goggles on as thick as can be. Like, no one cares. I'm sorry, but Frankie, no one cares. Henry, Jamar Chase, McCaffrey. What do we think of Tyreek Hill? Disaster. Josh Allen, 4 touchdown Josh Allen, man. I mean, he's just a monster. Lamar won't make it back to me. I would love to. I don't think you can stack Henry and Lamar in this week 2 contest. It's going to be impossible. Why does the title say week 3 in it? I don't know, because I'm tired and I messed up. On to week 2. Sorry. Let me fix it. Good catch. On to week 2. I maybe somebody else said that, but I don't know if anybody did notice it. Thank you. Fixed. Thank you, media. All right, back-to-backs. Pretty good picks are still here. McBride. I do think Achane will bounce back this week. Probably going to roll with Puka. And McBride. Eric says I forgot to mention Harvey. I don't know if it's going to help me because I don't remember anything about the question at this point, Eric. Puka is printing money. Puka is a walking injury, is what he is. What's this draft called, Mamba? It's a week 2 battle royale $7 entry. Grab Tootin or ETN. You gotta have both, Mike, but you gotta take ETN because he's a starter right now. But if you have ETN, you gotta have both. Why does YouTube view Puka as a bad word? I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah, we gotta approve whenever. Sometimes Puka, it's like 14-man league, 2 wide receivers, 2 running back, 2 flex. McCarthy, Barkley, Mason, T. Higgins, London, Kraft, Ridley, Pearsall, bench, Diggs. Thinking of trading Barkley and Ridley for Puka and Neighbors. I'd probably rather have Puka and Neighbors and Henderson. I mean, you get Puka, or you guys got to be careful with your slashes, because the slash, just put or, because it doesn't, half the time people put it where it's not or, and then let's see here. On the clock, I think I'll go with Mahomey here. By the way, doing these battle royales is a very lucrative thing, because the payouts are so nice that no matter what, I feel like I'm making, even if I have a bad week and I don't win any high, placing, I'm still getting more than my money back each week. Like I went through, I don't know how much of these 7 times. Let's see, I think I got like $300 this week in my account, just all of a sudden from when the battle royales went through. And $300 divided by 7 is 42. I didn't do 42 drafts, not even close. I want to do 42 drafts, but I didn't get to it, and so it's a very lucrative payout. 14-man league, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 2 flex, McCarthy, Barkley. Yeah, so I assume you're saying or Puka / Neighbors and Henderson. I think you're saying or here. So I would probably say either wide receiver and Henderson for Barkley and Ridley. Yes, I would do that trade, either one. Who would I rather get? I suppose they're both injury risks, man. I don't know. I mean, Puka was battered and went to the locker room and it looked like he was concussed, and the guy just puts his body at risk at every play. I suppose I would say Neighbors and Henderson, and I roll the dice. I mean, you're rolling the dice either way that either one stays healthy. But I'd probably roll the dice with Neighbors in that situation. But that is a pretty nice offer. Barkley's hard to give up, though, but I also feel like he's also very, very likely to get injured. Any advice for me? PPR, 2 flex, Knicks, Bijan. Oh, I'm on the clock here. George Pickens, I think, has a bounce back. Let me just cue him in case I time out. I'm still banking. Let's go Travis Hunter having a big day. Big day. Big day, Travis. They projected me to be the highest scorer, 92.3 projected points. Henry, Puka, McBride, Kyron, Mahomes, and Travis Hunter. All right, I'm going to back out and enter one more. So for those that haven't joined yet, make sure you click this link. I'll wait about a minute. Click that link right there. It's pinned in the live chat. It's in the description of the video. Code Smitty also gets it done. And Underdog, you play 5, get 50 using code Smitty. So if you download the app without going through code Smitty, or like going through the link, just enter code Smitty when they say, how did you hear about us? But easier just to click the link. Any advice for me? Knicks, Bijan, Kyron, Mike Evans, Sutton, Hunter, Keenan Allen, McBride. I like the team a lot. I think you're trying to maybe trade Sharps or Benson or Coleman or Sampson with Sutton or Mike Evans to upgrade. Sutton for Nico using Sharps or Benson or Coleman. I mean, waiting on Sharps might be the best move for you, though, because right now, your people are buying them on spec. But I mean, he did outperform majorly. Walker, you outperform Walker in a major fashion. Okay, guys, click the link in 5. We're going on the Battle Royale, week 2. 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's being toxic in the chat? Is it Frankie? Frankie, this is your last warning if you want to stay here. Next toxic thing you say, I'm gonna leave it up to the moderator whether they want to either hide you and ban you, or they could just put you. If you say one more thing, the moderators have full control over this. I totally trust them, and not to mention I'll hate it if I see it. One more word out of you that's disruptive, and if you're lucky, we'll put you in a 24-hour timeout. If you're lucky, it might not even be that, and then your favorite show that you're here every single time watching is then not in play for you. And is that really what you want? Think about that for a second. Is the show important to you? If the show's important to you, then why are you doing this? And you can keep saying that, hold on a second. And you can keep saying, oh, I'm not doing anything, or they're egging me on, or you're the common denominator. So either change or you'll be out of here. So it's up to you. But it is up to you. Love the squad. Not doing anything versus making the wrong move, but Sutton and Sharps, if it's lucrative, you trade Sharps now. If not, you hold them and you wait, and then your deals later. And Mike Evans and Sutton, I think I timed out on Derrick Henry, which is what I would have taken anyway, so that's fine. Sutton and Mike Evans for like one Lamb, maybe Nico. That's what I would come up with right now if I had to force something. But waiting on Sharps is probably what's going to get you into the door of a nice trade. Thank you for the super chat. Hold Bigsby, also Samson to the moon. I would hold Bigsby in the right scenario. But right now, like, I'd rather have Tootin. I'd rather have a handful of guys. But, you know, Bigsby, I guess they got him as a returner. But I don't know. Like, why would you make a trade for Bigsby as a returner? It doesn't make sense. Like, he's a good backup running back, but we'll see. Also, Samson to the moon. Samson to the moon to a degree. But, you know, Judkins is coming back to take the first and second down work, and the draft capital will probably command that he gets a shot. But Samson, if he keeps doing what he did, then they might not give it to him. They might not, bro. They might not surrender. Travis, put Frankie in a 24-hour timeout. Man, Lamar, I was hoping Lamar would have fallen. But I love this. I like this. This is a good start. My Pittman for Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren in a heartbeat, bro. In a heartbeat. Not even a hesitation. Not even a hesitation. What did Michael Pittman do this week? Someone give me... Travis, if you want to call in, you can. I don't think I'm going to open the phone lines tonight, guys. I don't think I can deal with it. Go ahead, Travis, if you want to call in. Can everybody tell me what Michael Pittman did this week? I don't feel like looking it up. What's up, Travis? You're live.
Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
He was 6 for 80 with a touchdown, 8 targets, 17 points, and half PPR. So,
everyone and their mother's like, should I trade Michael Pittman for this and that? It's like I realize he scored, and I know he's been somebody that a lot of people have overvalued for a long time. But I mean,
he's kind of like a poor man Sutton to me. He's going to get some touch if he's healthy. So.
I just think it's crazy how people are able to get the world for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's also 1 week of Danny Dimes against potentially.
Pittman's got a long way to go before he earns my value, or my respect back. Ill Phil says, "Thank you, Smitty, for letting me know about JCM a few months ago. Needed a starting running back in Dynasty and sent Quorum and Dowdle for him. Nice job, bro." Ill Phil is lambasting. Weber says, "Drop Downs for Hollywood." Probably not. Drop Goff for Penix. Yes, I'd still keep Downs. I think Downs is better than Pittman Jr. I still would rather have Downs than Pittman on the year. What I do, Adam says, what I do, DJ Moore and Harvey for Nico. Yes. DMC. Try to trade CMC for Henry in options. Yeah. I mean, I'd trade CMC for Henry straight up. I'd rather have Henry over CMC straight up. If you have to give up a little, I would. Also had Ingram need a waiver tight end, Fannin or Juwan Johnson. I don't know if you've seen the waiver board, bro, but it's right here. Take a screenshot of that bad boy. All right, where are we at? Thank you for the super chat. Let's go Garrett Wilson here. And then would you be trying to trade Keenan Allen? Sure. I don't know that anybody's going to buy Keenan Allen for much. But yes, I would definitely trade Keenan Allen right now. I don't know what you get, though. Like Keenan Allen and something small for Harvey. Keenan Allen and something small for Hunter. Keenan Allen for Tootin. Like things like that. But I don't know what else. It's one of the more vague, journeys I could go down. Travis, anything you want to say? I'm not going to stay long, so I thought I'd bring in real quick. Anything you wanted to say on the game tonight? Caleb, JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson's value, how worried you are still about JJ getting what he needs to be, JJ, and what you think about McCarthy going forward, what you think about Caleb going forward.
I mean, Caleb is just more of the same, so I haven't really changed on him. JJ, I mean, I think JJ, and people disagree with me, I think he can be like a Brock Purdy that's mobile. He's going to manage games well. He's going to play really well at times. He's probably not going to lose you a ton of games. I think that was out of character that first half, the first few quarters. But I don't know what his ceiling is. And then, I mean, JJ, I don't know. We were a little worried last year, and Darnold played well. So as long as he gets his targets, he's still going to be, especially where he wasn't being drafted as like in the top 3 or 4 this year in most drafts. I think he'll probably retain his first round value close to it. The main reason I called was just to note, and I'll put it in the Patreon too so people can see it, but guys like Hendy, Harvey, even JCM, look at their snap counts And their snap counts are only going to go up. I know you talked about it a little bit. Hendy only played a third of the snaps, but he got the most touches for running backs on the Patriots. Harvey did what he did, with that big 50-yard run. I think it was 6 for 70 or something. He only played 22 out of 70 offensive snaps. So even if Dobbins is in there, his snaps are going to go on. JCM did what he did, 23 out of 70 snaps. So all these guys that, whether they did bad or good or whatever, like their snap count is 100% going to increase, over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
They all showed something.
I 100% think that. Hold on, let me get Rock out of here. Rock out 1 second. I 100% think that that Hendy is gonna ball the hell out. I 100% think that Hampton's gonna ball the hell out. I 100% think that Harvey will eventually, but I am understanding, and we've said this, that there's a possibility we get the Chase Brown treatment, where we don't get Chase Brown to do anything until week 4. It's possible Harvey doesn't explode until week 4. There's also pros and cons to it. There's pros to Harvey not doing a thing. It sucks for week 1, although he still had the 50-yard run and he got you some points, but there's pros and cons to Harvey taking some time, because then he won't hit a rookie wall. And we said this about Hampton, that if Najee was in the way, then Hampton would not hit a rookie wall. So there's very much that potential of no rookie wall, late blooming, kind of pisses people off, but people regret drafting him until they don't regret drafting him. Like at some point, you're not going to regret drafting RJ Harvey. You're going to absolutely feel like, okay, never mind, this is pretty awesome. But right now, people are upset. They're pissed off. I get it. I understand it. But I believe that the snap counts, all the volume's going to go up. Harvey's going to go to the moon at some point. Hendy and Hampton, I think, immediately go there. Harbaugh loves Hampton and not mad at him at all. Blames himself for him running out of bounds. I have no doubt in my mind that Hampton's going to the moon right away. And Hendy, we heard the entire staff, different points in different interviews, OC, head coach, talk throughout the week about how they need to run the ball more, and they really screwed up the Patriots this week by not running the hell out of the ball. So Hendy is going to get fed, and he's a weapon. And they saw it, we saw it, everybody saw it. You get him the ball, he's in the end zone. He's house call Hendy. So it's they got to get him the ball. If they don't get him the ball, they're not going to score because he's their weapon. I totally buy low at every turn. And then Genty, the fact that anybody's worried about Genty at all is laughable, which is why tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 a.m. Pacific time, that is in roughly about 5.5 hours or so, my video drops. Go buy low on Genty. The video is a harbinger of what is to come later in the week on the Outlaw board. So this is the week 2 buy low smashes, and Genty's leading the way, and I have a teaser video each week that starts before the main video. So tomorrow's the mining buy low week 2 mining video, which will be a lead into the bigger video, which will have this whole board full, and these are 3 teasers for you. So make sure you guys are watching tomorrow morning's video drop at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. And if you're new in here, we got 1,000 people in the building. Subscribe so you don't miss a dang thing. Go ahead, Travis, and then I'll go over to Rock Out, then I'm going to jump.
Yeah, just a couple other quick things, and I can jump off too. The other thing with the Patriots offense too is Diggs only played 41% of the snaps. They're kind of easing them in without really talking about it. So that's going to help May as well. And then with we talked with the Lions, I think it's definitely true that it could take some time for them to, get settled without Ben Johnson and stuff. But you look at Gibbs, and he almost doubled the snaps with Monty, and he had 10 targets, 10 receptions for 31 yards. If he has that many targets, there's no way it's only going to be 31 yards most games.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things you have to pay attention to before you just look at something and go, oh, he didn't score the amount of points I wanted, I got to trade him away. Type of thing.
I still can't believe the Bears lost that game. I still can't believe it.
They should have been able to put them away in the first half.
I mean,
the way
it
Vikings
was.
were playing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
What an unraveling. I mean, what an unraveling. You know, this is kind of a common theme. Bears up, JD5. No way JD5 is bringing them back. Hail Mary, boom, done. And now Caleb, the magic is amazing. Smitty, you're going to pay. Ended the live stream at the 8 p.m. show, 10 for 10. He was remarkable magic. The meatloaf was cooking, yeah.
Wait for the post-game show. They were all planning your funeral after one drive.
Smitty's demise. He's finally stepped over the line. He's done. He'll never come back from this.
A good play call by Ben.
Oh, Ben. He's got to move on at some point. It'll take a little while. People are still not ready to let go of Caleb Williams. So,
yeah, keep an eye on the week 5 bye. It's a good point. You know, it's early in the season. They could easily make a switch if he keeps this up.
Yeah, they pay that man.
All right, Travis. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Last thing is just Odunze. Man, he finds those open spots. Like Kelsey used to find that open spot and just kind of sit down and be wide open. He gets open all the time. If he could even get, decent quarterback play, he'd be awesome.
And also let me also say, I didn't even say this yet. I kind of ripped on the Caleb Williams situation, but I never really described what it was that I was seeing. But Caleb Williams was so bad in the second half. Those throws were awful. And his decisions were awful. His throws were awful. He's overthrowing everybody, underthrowing everybody. I mean, he make an occasional good throw, but because he's got a good arm. He's got good legs, good arm. He can run. He can scramble. He's fast. I mean, he was elusive. He got lucky not getting wrapped up, the whole game. They just kept barely missing him. And it wasn't like, part of it is because he is elusive. But those throws were awful. And then when the pressure's on, this man unravels. He's like Jake Moody for the Niners, the kicker. It's just he gets in his own head, and this did not help. This was a confidence blow.
He won't stay in the pocket. He won't stand in there the second there's pressure. He starts to look to roll out right away.
And some of those throws were just dreadful throws. And that almost that pick six where he just threw it right. And then there was even that one, a couple of the plays he got bailed out. It'd be a bad throw, and then Met caught it one-handed. It was it was crazy.
Those are gimme throws too.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Travis?
Nope. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you, Rock Out. Bye.
Rock Out. What do you got? As quickly as you can. I'm gonna bail.
Am I wrong to think Quinn Johnson is full of gold?
No, you're not wrong to think either way. You're not wrong to think either way, my boy. I mean, Quentin Johnson, I wouldn't bet the farm on, but I certainly wouldn't bet against him having one of those like Deontay Johnson years where it's like people get really amped up because he has a full good year that makes people believe there's more to it, and then the next year is nothing. So I would definitely not bet against him having a decent year, but the guy does struggle with drops. At any point he could revert back to that. Again, it's the pressure, pressure with some of these players. What else you got? Anything else real quick?
Yeah, would you rather have Calvin Allison?
Calvin Allison? Who the hell's Calvin Allison?
Austin.
Okay, Calvin Austin. I would rather have probably Quentin Johnston. Calvin Allison. Yeah, probably Quentin Johnston. All right, my boy.
It. And you know what the deal with on Gainwell is. For some reason they got him projected high this coming week.
Gainwell. I mean, Gainwell is definitely getting more work this coming week. We'll have to play it by ear, my boy. We'll have to see how it goes. All right.
All right, we'll talk about it.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Cool.
Later.
All right.
Yeah, Gainwell's tough to gauge. All right. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Oh, no, here are the super chats. We got Phil, PPR, have Sharp, send Walker, and Javonte for Hall. Phil. I think I don't think that's gonna work, but I would definitely do that. If you can pull it off, that's amazing. Would you start Penix Jr. or May? I'm probably gonna go Penix Jr. May's maybe safer, but I'm still swinging big. No pause intended. Still swinging big with Penix Jr. Pickens or Benson in the flex. You can't start Benson yet over Pickens, but Benson's somebody to monitor. I do like him this week, though. It's not bad. But Pickens is still a near elite wide receiver 2-3 play. I'll say not elite wide receiver 2 necessarily, but like elite wide receiver 2-3. We got 1,000 people in the YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button before we end up bouncing out of here. And you need to know how to get back here if you just found us tonight, because we go live more than anybody you could ever find, I think. So make sure you hitting that subscribe button. I go live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I go live almost every single night at midnight. And I go live whenever big news breaks. So any of you 1,200 people watching on YouTube, you don't subscribe, how the hell are you going to find the show again? Not to mention, if you enjoyed any part of this, you're helping me by subscribing, because you're going to have your boy doing more work and more content and more everything, because you're building this thing from the ground up. We built this, Smitty, on graveyard shows, and when we're graveyard, we need to make sure we're smashing the subscribe. Last question, and then we're out of here. Appreciate all my callers. Appreciate everybody that super chatted. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, my $20 haulers. Thank you, Shane. Shane was dropping $20 haulers. Did Shane ever say what video he wanted? Shane. My boy Shane. Dropping wattage all night long. Let me see if Shane ended up telling me. It was Shane with a last name started with a K, right? Shane, did you pick a video? I don't know if you picked a video. Shane, tell me what video you want. Shane, you still there? He might have checked out. Okay. Achan, Hendy, Javonte, AJB, JSN, Igbuka, DK, Debo, Ingram, Mahomes, Mixon. How do I get a tight end? Make sure Fannin Jr. isn't on waivers. Here's the waiver wire board, my boy. Smash that if you haven't already. And then I think Tyler Warren, I'm still trying to go get. He's a little more expensive this week, but I still think you can get him. But Fannin Jr. I pick up. Willing to trade DK and Debo and Javonte the most. Well, I'd definitely trade DK for Tyler Warren straight up for sure. I think Kyle Pitts is a good buy low. I don't know if I want to give up DK, but I'd probably give up Javonte for a tight end in your situation potentially. But I'd rather hit the waiver wire and pick up Fannin if I can. Is he available? Brian, is Fannin available in your league? That would be the ultimate choice. Other than that, go to the Tyler Warren owner and see what you could get out of them by trading them A.J. Brown and Ingram or DK. I definitely would want to trade A.J. Brown, by the way. You know, get into a Lad McConkey, into a Hampton, Hendy or whatever. You got Hendy already, but love the team. Javonte and AJB for a running back. Javonte and DK and AJB for Genty, just coming to my mind here that I want to say that. And then as far as like a tight end, I mean, would I trade for McBride using Debo and Javonte, or DK and Javonte for McBride, absolutely. Throw Mixon in if you can do it. Javonte, DK, Javonte, DK, and Ingram. I don't know if they even want Ingram. Banged up. Definitely would do all those. Appreciate your super chat. And then the final one of the night, and then I'm out of here. I'm dosing. This is from Jake. Oh, and I already answered that one. This one here. All right, this super chat, and then we're out of here. By the way, about 4,000 YouTube messages tonight. 4,000 YouTube messages in a show that was 2 hours and 35 minutes. 4,000. You guys are nuts. I love it. Hendo, Hampton, Krosky, Merritt, Hunter, McMillan. Start 2. We're going with Hampton and Hendy, and I'm not looking back. But I do like Krosky, Merritt. I do like Hunter. I do like McMillan. Not saying they don't find a way to put one in a flex, but you could trade McMillan and Krosky, Merritt right now to upgrade something, even do a 3-for-1, or just trade both of them together for somebody. I'd also be very tempted to move, let's say, Hampton and Krosky, or Hampton and Tet to get Genty. Just saying. Maybe move on one of those, two of those guys to try and go get a Lad McConkey or a Nico upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget, guys, to get on over to Underdog so that you can ensure you're drafting with us next time. Here's the link for that. Smash that link and get on over to Underdog. Again, they'll match your first deposit. I think still 50% up to 1,000. That might end any moment, so make sure you hit that. But the Play 5 Get 50 is still in play using code Smitty or that link. Don't forget to get on over to the Patreon. That link is pinned in the live chat right now. The link's in the description of the video. It's $10 a month, but cancel anytime. It's the best place. During games, we're packed in there. During a Sunday game, during a Monday game, during a Friday game, during all of the morning and afternoon slate games, we're sitting inside what we call the game day lounge, and there's hundreds of us just talking. It's boom, 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 nothing but play by play. You know, do you see this? Do you see that? What do you need? Oh my God, let me see that. What movies you watching lately, Bill? Just constant chatting. It's amazing. It's a live YouTube chat group. All the same people in this community. It's you hear people say, my friend's group chat. He's got a group chat. I don't have a group chat. You do now. It's cancel anytime. Try it out. It's like a price of a cup of coffee for 1 month. You don't like it, cancel it. But I'm pretty sure you won't, because you're going to love hanging out with us 24/7, 365, doing it live. And don't forget, I also have my content site, which is redraft rankings and dynasty rankings and bold predictions and trade calculators. And most importantly, the buy low, sell high and the waiver wire content written on here. And so go check that out. But again, most importantly, we're drafting at midnight Eastern here on the channel like we did tonight. Play 5, get 50. So hit that link. I'll drop that link one more time in the live chat. This is the Underdog link. Again, the Patreon link is pinned. And then we are out of here. Appreciate you all, dudes. We had one more super chat come in here from Alan. And Alan says this: putting my brother on the show, should he trade Ertz for Ridley to the Kittle owner? Ertz for Ridley. I'm okay with that. I think Ridley has a better day. It was a real bad matchup for him. So Alan, I would probably take that. Although, yeah, I'd take that. And then I maybe even consider flipping Ridley for Travis Hunter, for Harvey, for something like that. That makes sense to me. See you all later. Appreciate you. Please subscribe on the way out the door. There's 1,000 of you on YouTube still, and I think a couple hundred on Twitter. So Twitter people, get over to the YouTube. YouTube people, hit that subscribe button. 1,000 of you watching. We could use the subscribes. We're at 35,612. 35,612 subs. And I mean, on the way out the door, I'd love to yell, "There's another one. There's another one. There's another one." Appreciate you all. Go buy low on Genty. Tomorrow, don't forget, please don't forget that tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 a.m. Pacific time, this video drops. At 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time, my Ashton Genty buy low video, which we call the mining buy low video, which is basically sifting through all the names, finding the most valuable piece. We're mining for gold, and this is it. But it is part one of a bigger video that drops on Wednesdays, and the mining video, the short video, the teaser video drops on Tuesdays, and this one is on Genty, and the rest of the gauntlet of players that will be consuming. These are 3 of the larger number, just kind of a teaser. But tomorrow's mining video on just Genty alone, that'll lead into the bigger video, drops at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. So I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Please subscribe on the way out the door. We got 1,000 people still in the building. Hit it. Do it live. Do it live. Smash. Genty tomorrow.
Hey, I'm Dom, and I drive fast cars, get hot chicks, and draft Ashton Genty double fist style with 2 cell phones at the same time. Why do I have 2 cell phones? One for looking up Ashton Genty stats all day, the other is for getting chicks.
Dez. Yeah, I see these now, Travis. Thanks. Traded Keenan Allen and Michael Pittman Jr. for Bill. I like that. Smitty approved that. Des, I usually get these at the end of the chat with the credits going up because I can't see them during the chat. Trade Swift for 1 of Penix Jr., JJ McCarthy. I would trade for Penix Jr. if you need a quarterback. There's no way Josh Allen can get 38 points. Oh, yeah, there's no way Josh Allen can get 38 points. Celebrate too early. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. Traded AJ B for Bucky. Damn. Good trade. 1 QB league. This is from Ralph. My QBs are Goff and Stroud. Pick up JJ McCarthy. I guess those are bad QBs, bro. What made you do that? Don't listen to the other channels that tell you to punt quarterback, bro. Don't do it. I guess I'd rather have, make sure Penix Jr. isn't out there. Penix Jr. all the way. But JJ McCarthy over Stroud, I suppose right now. Or over Goff. You could keep either one. I don't know. Stroud, Goff. Guys, rank Stroud, Goff, and McCarthy in the chat, please. Stroud, Goff, and McCarthy. Please rank those 3 for our boy Ralph, who needs our desperate help on that question. Those quarterbacks are bad, bro. Media, we'll see you later, media. Mac says there's open phone lines. Mac, does it look like there's open phone lines? See you all later. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow. Don't forget the video drop. 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Genty. See you there. 7:30 a.m., 4:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Deuce.